Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers, LA 21-12681. Offices in Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome into OTB Thursday, June 1st, 2023. That's right, baby. Month of June is here. Sorry, I can't help it, dude. I am in a massive argument with my smooth brain Bama boy friends who cannot understand my take from yesterday that Nick Saban saying that, things are no longer an even playing field in the NCAA because some people are willing to spend more than others is ridiculous, right? Or just because I say that that's an absurd thing for Nick Saban to say. And I don't think it's that crazy. So, I mean, I don't even know, I've been doing so many shows, I don't know what I even talked about this on. Did we talk about this on yesterday's show a little bit? Maybe? Did we go over the Saban quote at all?
I don't think so.
Oh, crap. Okay. Well, I guess I did it on Snaps yesterday, and whatever. It's been online, and I have all these Bama people in my mentions that you don't understand what Nick is saying. No, guys. Here is my just baseline tape. At the SEC meetings, Nick Saban asked, is this what we want college football to be? The exact same question that he asked back in 2012 when it comes to up-tempo offenses, right? He went on to say that, that in this current setting, that it's no longer an even playing field because some schools have shown more of a willingness to spend money than others. I find that to be very rich coming from Nick Saban, a man who built the most outsized facilities that we had ever seen at the time, put a barbershop in the football ops just because he could, a man who changed the game of college football by proving just how much of an advantage you can gain by over-investing in your program, by being willing to spend more. What was Saban known for? 7,000 shadow staff before everybody had shadow staff. The best facilities. Like literally he cut his teeth. He made his reputation as the greatest coach of all time by committing more money than anybody else to the problem. And I am not decrying that. I am not saying that's wrong. All I'm saying is it's rich to act like the past 15 years have been an even playing field because they have not. And it's never quite been. Now, there have been times it's been more even than others. Sure, absolutely. But go look at the history of college football. You always have your haves and have-nots. It's just the way of the road. And so if you ask me, is this what we want college football to be? I say our wants are irrelevant. It's like the invisible hand in Adam Smith. The market will do what the market will do. Okay? And this is the same way that Nick Saban has had to adjust to up-tempo offenses because it's just the latest evolution in football. This is just the latest evolution of college football economics. You may not like NIL, but there's no stopping it. And they say, okay, well, why don't we create a salary cap, right? Maybe like a players union. Salary cap. That sounds great on the surface, doesn't it? Like, yeah, if you create a cap, then once again, the playing field's equal. But the flaw there is, boys, how do you cap advertising? Like, we're talking about two different things. You can create a salary cap, and that's all well and good, but that's going to be money that's not coming from outside sources. That would be money that would be coming from the organization, the NCAA or the school or something along those lines. How are you ever going to stop the owner of Buc-ee's from wanting to pay a player $5 million to go play at Texas A&M? if he just does some Buc-ee's commercials, right? Like how can you stop it? A salary cap won't do that. In the NFL, they have salary caps. Does that stop Tyreek Hill from going to get an advertising campaign? Does that stop Patrick Mahomes from being on State Farm commercials? No. So even that sounds good on the surface, and it's tempting to fall immediately into it and say, this will fix the problem, but it doesn't. And I don't know that there's ever going to be any fix. I don't know how you cap that money. I don't know if you want to cap that money. Is it anti-capitalist to want to cap the money that a market is willing to pay a person? I feel that it pretty much is. And it may suck, and it may be a lot to deal with, and it may be new, and again, you will have your have and have-nots, but that's how it's always been. It's like Logan Roy says in Succession, right? Everything is always changing. The sooner you realize that, the better you can start to deal with it. And so I thought Nick Saban sounded a little old, and I found it to be a little rich, that he would have presented the last 15 years as if they were some sort of even playing field. Get the hell out of here. Again, you're awesome, dude. Okay? And they're like, oh, well, just wait. He's going to do NIL better than any of you. Okay, yeah, fine. Great. I don't care. I don't care. As this article that you linked from the Tiger Wire and USA Today, where Brian Kelly says there's still a gap between LSU and Alabama and Georgia. Yeah, absolutely. Like LSU still has to catch up. Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State are years ahead of where LSU is. But I love how Brian Kelly manages the constantly evolving and shifting nature of college football. You don't see complaints. All you see is a head-forward motivation, a drive, a positivity. Look, maybe Nick's getting old, right? What do people do when they get old? They start to twist the past into something more familiar, even if it doesn't line up with the truth. And so, I don't even think Saban's being intellectually dishonest. I think he probably used to feel like it was an even playing field, even though in reality it was not. Maybe it's because technically he feels that people are breaking rules now, or maybe it's because now you've essentially codified pay for play, and that was like the one thing that was anathema to college football for so long, and so it's tough to square that circle. I understand all of this. But it is what it is. The market is going to do what the market is going to do. And does it lead like the invisible hand? Does it lead to greed, corruption, oligarchy, right? More and more of the power in a smaller amount of teams? Yeah, probably. But you know what else it leads to? Higher quality products. And the product of football being of a higher quality. So, if you're a little Bama smooth brain boy, don't get defensive about me mentioning Nick Saban, because it's not really about Nick Saban. The greater point is, this is the way that things have always been. It's just a new skin. It's the latest stage of evolution. And I don't think that's terribly hard to understand unless you are being intellectually dishonest. So sorry, that's not even what I wanted to start with. I wanted to start coming in here talking about freaking Oregon State, and it's a regional, it's the penultimate day for the Tigers will be in the box, and the NCAA tournament begins, and God, these Bama boys, dude, just don't know. I just can't, Taylor. Sometimes. What's up though? Welcome into the show, y'all. Sorry. Hope you're all having a great morning. We got Casey Gaines on filling in for Mario today. We got Taylor back there. So Jake remains at the SC meetings in Destiny. We'll be checking in with Jake at 8:30 today, see if we get some boots on the ground reporting from our guy Husker, as he has been. Well, it's like he continuously tells us, right? These SEC spring meetings are different simply because you get these coaches with their guard down, maybe a little more whispers in the back alley. Now, I don't know that he'll be able to directly come on and tell us said whispers, but you can kind of intimate maybe some of the conversations that are taking place. So we'll get into all of that and more on today's show. Look, youtube.com/1045 ESPN. Hit the like button if you're watching in there. If you want to hang out in there, you get in chat. If you, too, are not feeling terribly intelligent this morning and you want to try to argue with me, that's a great avenue in which to do so. All right, when we get back, here on OTB. Let's go ahead and dive in, mainly on Oregon State, right? We've talked a bit of Tulane thus far. We can dive in more tomorrow. Sam Houston is probably, when you get into Sam Houston marks, I'm probably guilty of undervaluing them in all of this. As we're going to see with Oregon State, Sam Houston has the potential to actually be the second best team at this regional. And it's basically what Mark Etheridge told us yesterday as well. That could be the biggest threat due to some injuries to the Beavs. So let's start to look at it next here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Go to allstartoyotabatonrouge.com, All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge. .com. It's a great website if you want to start your car buying journey, man. You can find your next Toyota right there on the site. Make, model, year, Toyota certified used vehicle, maybe a brand new vehicle, maybe a custom ordered. You want something like the Murdered Out Mini, whatever you want, you can do it all online at allstartoyotabatonrouge.com, and that's all well and good. But I love the people there, man. And without those people, I would not have found the vehicles that matched my family's needs from a budgetary standpoint, a utility standpoint, right? Like number of seats, all that sort of stuff. I got 3 kids now. And whether you're looking to buy new, use, lease, or rent, they have cheaper per day rental prices than traditional rental companies, okay? So trust me. Don't be a little smooth brain Bama boy. Go to All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge, allstartoyotabatonrouge.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
I drove myself to the ER, had heart surgery, and drove myself home 24 hours later, feeling fine. Starting running again after the procedure, I'm getting excited thinking about it. I had no pain, nothing. I felt great. And right then and there, I was like, oh my God, I'm back. I'm back. It's just amazing.
Ochsner Health. Long live you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $20,000 off new 22 Ram 1500 SCA trucks and incredible deals on all remaining 2022 inventory, all with Bayou's
Denver Nuggets host the Miami Heat in Game 1 of the NBA Finals Thursday night at 7:30, with Game 2 Sunday night at 7 p.m. Your home for the 2023 NBA Finals is 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Ryan Ami says, never want to take up for Saban, but he could just be issuing out a warning to the have-nots of the SEC and all of college football. It doesn't change anything. There have always been have-nots. A lot of this, ironically, again, is influenced by Nick Saban. Guys, think about it. When's the last time we had a parity-filled year of college football? 2007, the year in which Nick Saban returned, right? Like, yeah, back in the 90s, the 2000s, things maybe did feel a bit more even. It wasn't as regionalized. And then what are the correlating factors here? Nick Saban first shows up in Baton Rouge and shows what you can do if you get an entire economy to buy in and get moving in one direction. And that was almost like the beta test for the process, right? The rough forming. He disappears to the NFL for a bit. Urban Meyer kind of picks up where he left off. And then he goes to Alabama and he brings things to a new level in terms of facilities, investment, shadow staff, right? So like Nick Saban in many ways is responsible for the very culture and the very effects that he is now decrying. Wow. Wild stuff. Good morning, everybody. Hanging out in the chat, man. Hope you're having a great day today. Jeff G says the big question is, would Georgia be as dominant today if not for NIL? Yes. Because on top of NIL, Georgia, like, guys, tell me that this is going to sound crazy. It was CBS, USA, I can't remember. Somebody had a report recently where they looked at the amount of money spent in recruiting. Guess who was number one? University of Georgia. Who has the number one class? University of Georgia, right? What held Georgia back for so long is they didn't have the buy-in. Now, whether that was because people didn't believe in Mark Richt, like that's going to be up for interpretation. But actually, they did not have the buy-in. When Aaron Murray was at Georgia, they didn't even have an indoor. They had a 30-yard indoor. I think that just got fixed in the last couple of years. Now they've got a brand new, I want to say it's like an $85 million or $100 million football ops they're building. They're building like a $50 million recruiting room addition to the stadium. They're redoing parts of Sanford. Like, they are realizing the benefits of conquest, where once you have the correct general, your Caesar, your Pompey, your Smart, Saban, your Kelly, once you have that guy that can provide the vision and get everybody aligned, well, that's when you enter the super stratosphere, right? That's when you explode and you mushroom, and all of a sudden you see buildings popping up out of nowhere and investment from everywhere. So, yes, Georgia would be exactly where they are without NIL, because that's kind of the point, right? Is that Smart now credit to Smart is staying on top of the evolution and not shying away from it. He doesn't like it. None of these coaches like it. Okay? But the question of, is this what we want college football to become, is just a fruitless exercise. Because college football will be what it is meant to be. And that evolution is taking place right here in front of your eyes as we enter the 2020 forging of college football. Taylor Sharp says, I heard a rumor that a devilishly handsome young man is filling in for Hunt Palmer today. Not sure who it is yet, though. Is that true, Taylor? Who could it be?
It is true. I don't know who it is.
Wow.
It could be me. It could be somebody else. I just report what I hear.
Jeff G, T-Bob, I don't think that's what Nick Saban was talking about. He was about buying players, not updating facilities. Oh, my God, Jeff. And then you accuse me of not being prepared for today's show and saying that I'm talking in circles. I'm talking in circles because of dummies like you that cannot understand the freaking point. Paying for players is just the 2023 version of shadow staff. It's the 2023 version of upgrading facilities. It's all the same crap. more economic investment equals more success. It's like that in almost any realm of adult life. If you can't grasp what I am saying, you're lying to yourself, or I don't know. I don't want to be mean. But I do take exception to your later claim of not being prepared for today's show. I just have gotten thrown for a loop here because I cannot believe how many of you have opinions like what Jeff was just mentioning. And yeah, Jeff would say, oh, we didn't intend for NIL to be pay for play. But again, your intentions don't matter. Of course it was always going to go this way. You had to be naive to think that NIL wasn't going to immediately become pay to play. We knew that. Like, before NIL became law, like, what was the question that we asked every sports lawyer that you had on? How do you stop a rich person from paying someone, doing a couple of tweets, but essentially they're paying them to go to school? Like, that was the question we all asked, so we all knew it was coming. But this is capitalism, and you can't stop people from being paid if the market is willing to pay them, okay? What are you, a socialist, Jeff? Damn. Wow. Welcome to my side. There we go. Feel the burn, baby. All right, let's move on from this right now because I can't. I can't with this right now. Let's talk a little college baseball. Okay, I'll try not to give too much whiplash here. Check out this headline, boys. Tell me this doesn't make you feel a bit good. This is a headline from the Corvallis Gazette-Times. Nice paper, by the way. I love looking at other cities' newspapers, their local papers on their website. And I got to say, Gazette-Times, really nice layout, really nice website. Here's the headline. OSU baseball. Beavers will be shorthanded at the Baton Rouge Regional. Okay, already my antenna's peaked a little bit. Let's see what we're talking about here. When you look at this Oregon State team, this is a team that started terribly. I think they were 1-5 in conference, but they finished really high. They finished very strong. However, unfortunately, right before the Pac-12 tournament, they lost not one, but two of their weekend starters. Two of the three rotations. And for a second, I want you to stop and think about what that would do to a school like LSU. It doesn't matter which two, right? It could be Sunday and Ty Floyd, Skeens and Sunday. Like, just think about what you would do if you were down two of your weekend starters right before the tournament. You would feel that LSU was dead in the water. Well, that's how Oregon State feels right now. You have, you have Jaron Hunter getting hurt, who was their number one, a guy with a 3.03 ERA. Now, I think he was hurt early on. He came on late in the season, and he was dominating here recently. Well, he's out. They also lost Jacob Kamatz, their second guy. I know Musso talked about this a lot on yesterday's show. And so now they're down to Trent Sellers as their third starter, but guess what? LSU isn't going to even have to see Trent Sellers because he has to throw against Sam Houston. And then it's just like, okay, well, then who is going to face this LSU lineup if it indeed does end up breaking that way? Which, again, maybe it won't, right? Sam Houston could be the bigger thread here. But there's A.J. Lattery, who's a midweek starter that actually has some nice numbers. Ben Ferrer is their long reliever. He's probably their best arm that would be remaining, but he's a guy that, like, if they're in a position to win that game against Sam Houston, they might have to put Ben in. And then they'll look to use him again later in the week. I don't think they want to use him all in on one game as a start. So it's tough, man. I feel for Oregon State entering because, I mean, we too, at LSU this year, have suffered through the pain of key pitching injuries and just how much that can kind of upset what you're trying to accomplish. And so I feel good. I mean, you're talking about LSU. You want to talk about making a super regional. You're going against a 19-40 Tulane team that set a school record for losses in the regular season and a school record for how high the team ERA was in the regular season. You're talking about an Oregon State team who is a 2 seed, but a 2 seed that is devastated by injuries at the exact wrong time of the year. Again, happened right before the Pac-12 tournament. What'd they do in the Pac-12 tournament? Etheridge told you yesterday. They got run ruled twice. I don't think they got run ruled, but they gave up over 20 runs in the two games. They go 0-2, they go home. It's probably what stopped them from being able to host. And then you got a Sam Houston team that's actually very good. In fact, you got two players batting over 400 on the Sam Houston team. I can't remember his name. Moose pointed this out last night. We'll dive more into Sam Houston tomorrow, but And by the way, Moose filled in on Scone and Tea last night, and it was really fun. If you want to go hear some fun conversation, make sure to go check that out. Oliver Twist, shout out having us out. Oh, and at Rock Paper Taco, right next door to Oliver Twist. During the game this Friday, $5 margs if you're looking for a place to go watch the game and eat some delicious tacos. So I feel really good about LSU. Like, they should win this. Like, I get it. I get being scared. Things can go awry. They have gone awry on some of these weekends recently, but there is no doubt they're the strongest team in this regional and should emerge out of it. What's pretty wild is just how random to me this LSU-Oregon State matchup has become it's a matchup that should be very random, and yet we just keep dancing in June. Us too. Tigers and Beavers. There's a nice article on USA Today, LSU Tiger Wire by Will Rosenblatt, where he looks at this. And, I mean, think about it, boys. Over the last decade, you had the 2012 Baton Rouge Regional, where Oregon State comes to Baton Rouge as the 2 seed. LSU dominates game 1 against the Beavers. They win 7-1. Then in the championship game, they end up winning in walk-off fashion. Well, I guess it actually wasn't a walk-off, right? They tied in the 9th. They force extras. I think they push a run across, I think Austin Nola scores on a wild pitch I read. Was it Nick Goody? Doesn't matter. Struck out the side to end up winning. They win 6-5. They go to the Super Regional against Stony Brook, where they end up losing. 5 years later, they meet 3 times in Omaha. Remember, Eric Walker gets hurt in the first game. Oregon State dominates 13-1. LSU comes back, wins 2-0 behind Alex Lang. Then there's the 6-3 Caleb Gilbert game, and all of a sudden LSU's into the finals. Well, the next year they would meet once again, as this time it was LSU traveling to Corvallis as the 2 seed, where Beavers dominate you twice. Lose 14-1 to start things off. Then you end up fighting your way back, and you lose 12-0. And yet now we meet again in the postseason. LSU with a slight advantage in the series, 4-3. And what's more interesting about this matchup, boys, is that 2 legendary programs now with new generals at the helm, right? No more Pat Casey or Paul Maneri. Now it's Jay Johnson and Mitch Canham. Let's see who can get it done. I believe in Coach Johnson. In fact, we have Coach Johnson's only interview of the week, boys. How about that? Coming up at 8 a.m. today. Coach being kind enough to spare some time for the OTB boys and give us a little preview of this weekend. So I'm excited, man, and I feel really good about it, and you should feel good about it as well. You are the best team. You have been the best team in the country for the majority of the season. You're in the box. The crowd's going to be crazy. Everybody's already texting and asking who's going to the games. You know what else I found to be a bit funny, guys, and we didn't even mention it last week when you lose Texas A&M, it sucks. Everybody's mad, but, I take to Twitter. I'm like, look, guys, it's not that big of a deal. Like we talked about the SC tournament. It matters for teams who still have to build resume. If you've built your resume, it doesn't matter. You know what I should have brought up as a way of proving my point? We might be suffering from a little bit of Dory disease here, a little bit of short-term memory loss. Because did we not just have a coach that told us she literally only wanted to win 1 game in the SEC tournament and didn't care about the rest of it, and then ended up winning a natty? I mean, it's exactly what Kim Mulkey said. So, I feel you be like, too bad, that's a loser's mentality. You're going to tell that when I say that I don't really care that much about the SEC tournament for this year's LSU team, and you tell me that's a loser's mentality, you're going to tell Coach Mulkey she has a loser's mentality? Because she literally told us on this show, all I want to do is do 1 game better than we did last year, win that first game, and then I'm fine with whatever else happens after. And sure enough, they won 1, then they lose Tennessee, and it didn't matter. They win the national championship in that same way. And I didn't bring it up because I forgot about it. In that same way, if LSU accomplishes their goals, they make it to Omaha, you're going to forget about it. So this is where the actual fight begins this weekend, and you actually have a very favorable draw when it's all said and done, even down to the, to being the beneficiary of somebody else's pain in Oregon State losing 2 of their 3 weekend starters here at the end of the year. All right, when we get back here on OTB, Bill Barnwell went through all 32 of the NFL off seasons and ranked them 1 to 32, and it appears that old Bill does not believe And the New Orleans Saints, and I'll give you this one for free, Taylor. He has the Cowboys as number 3 on the list of having the best offseason. Oh, see, I love this reaction from you so much. If y'all can't see it, for those listening on radio, Taylor just started shaking his head and grimacing. Again, I will always fall back on, that's how you know you're a real fan of the team, is that you hate them.
Not only that, Dallas always does better with lower expectations. Like last year, I got mad at Hunt Palmer because he sat up there when I was doing the midday show and was like, this is the year the Cowboys are going to beat Tom Brady week 1. I was like, please stop doubting Tom Brady and hyping up the Cowboys. It's not going to happen. They won the game like 31-10. Dallas got crushed in that game. I hate when people do that.
Well, we can eventually pick out what Bill said about the boys' offseason and see where you fall in it. But we'll start with the Saints next here on OTB.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob. Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge. Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch, Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service, where if you want an incredible custom speaker install, it's going to blow people away in the water, that's there for you. You want an HD sonar where you can see the fish under the water before you cast, beat all your friends, that's there for you at front-to-back boat service. So don't put it off. We got the parts in right now. Get them now before they go back on back order. Front-to-back boat service.
Hello, Samantha, dear, I hope you're feeling fine. And it won't be long until I'm with you all the time. But until then, I spend my money up right down on my last dime. Come home, live Baton Rouge. I'm ready, what you put me on through. Gotta send my love down the path.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My
Sandgriff, join us for the Thursday edition of Live at Lunch from Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Matt Humans will be with us. Dwayne Colucci from Las Vegas and Ronnie Rance on the LSU Baton Rouge Regional. Live at Lunch, 11 to 1 weekdays on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Welcome back. OTB. Champ says, Taylor, the only thing the Cowboys have going for them is a top 5 quarterback. True.
I don't need the kind of trolling today.
What do you mean?
I don't need it.
That's honest. He gives the Cowboys a compliment.
Yeah.
You're saying Dak's a top 5 quarterback.
That's a top 5 quarterback in the state of Texas for sure. NFL, no.
NFC? Yeah.
Yeah.
You actually cannot.
Yeah, but
it is
how
inarguable that he is a top 5 quarterback in the NFC.
Yeah, but I mean, what does that say about the NFC? There, I think that says more about the NFC than it does Dak Prescott.
Yeah, because Derek Carr is also likely a top 5 quarterback in the NFC. Certainly. Which, again, should point towards the Saints having a pretty good offseason, right? You had a top 5 quarterback in your conference. Like, that should be applauded. And yet, you got Bill Barnwell out here, who I really love. And Bill, there's 2 Bills on ESPN.com that, in my opinion, make the ESPN Plus subscription worth it. And it's Bill Connolly on the college football side of things, because his articles are always hidden behind the paywall, and it's Bill Barnwell on the NFL side of things. So I love Bill. But Bill does not love the New Orleans Saints or their offseason. Now, for what it's worth, and Bill points this out, a bit of a mea culpa at the beginning of the article, last season in this same piece, he ranked the Seahawks with the worst offseason and the Broncos at number 1. So everybody can be wrong. But again, you can't fault the logic, right? We didn't know that Geno Smith was going to end up being a Pro Bowler. You didn't know that Tariq Woolen was going to become one of the best cornerbacks in the entire league as like a 4th or a 5th round pick. And I thought, like Bill did, that the Russell Wilson move was great. And even like, okay, and you can say that you didn't think the Russell Wilson move was great, Taylor, but you still didn't think it was going to be that bad. Did you?
I didn't think it was going to be that bad. I'm actually never been as high on Wilson as everybody else. Like, Wilson's good, but I feel like a lot of the Wilson hype is he had so much success early on. But if you go back and look at his days in Seattle, when he lost that great defense with the Legion of Boom, when he lost Marshawn Lynch, he was kind of a middle-of-the-road QB. I mean, Jared Goff beat him in the playoffs with a broken finger on his throwing hand. I mean,
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I mean,
he's a solid QB. He had like the Let Russ cook years. He had like 2 years.
Yeah, there was about 2 or 3 years
suddenly
in there
we
that
were
great.
like, oh my God, they've been holding him back with this defensive identity. What we didn't know is that behind the scenes, he was becoming more and more enamored with himself. But whatever, the point is, Bill's been wrong before, right? But he's also been right a lot on these prognostications. Well, so you're like, okay, but how's he arriving there? Because it does feel a bit odd, because he has them ranked 25th out of the 32 teams. He believes that the Saints had the 25th best offseason, so a very bad one. But it's weird because he likes the Derek Carr move. I mean, you improve at the most important position in football. He says that he believes that after all the moves that the Saints are the favorites to win the NFC South. But at the end of the day, and I know a lot of y'all feel this way. I don't feel this way, but I know a lot of y'all do. He just wants him to cut bait and start over. He believes that they're good enough to win the NFC South, but he doesn't believe they're anywhere close to a Super Bowl. Now, that's a bit ironic, right? Because if you do win the NFC South, well, then quite literally you are closer to a Super Bowl than if you cut bait, start over, and don't make the playoffs, right? I mean, that's my opinion, I suppose, even though that feels like just numerical fact. Now I get what he's saying, right? And starting over, maybe you start to rebuild. But the thing is, man, like, I don't know. The quote that sticks with me is the Nick Underhill one from New Orleans.football. Those who go to hell willingly tend to stay there. Rare is the Dante who makes it out. I actually have never read Dante's Inferno. I don't know if he does make it out. But the point is, I don't believe in just sacrificing everything to the question of, are we Super Bowl good? Because in order to be Super Bowl good, you have to establish a winning culture. Like, you have to be someone like the Steelers, who at least every single year is going to be competitive, good, decent, 500 or above. And then maybe you eventually find your way to the piece or two that you need to push you back over the top and get you to where you want to be. Basically, Barnwell he doesn't agree with restructuring and extending the vets, right? Spending $10 million to bring Mike Thomas back, restructuring and extending Alvin Kamara, Cam Jordan. He doesn't agree with giving Jamal Williams $12 million, who he calls a fun story but not really worth it. He doesn't agree with trading up twice in the draft to get Saldivari and Jay Kaner. And that's all well and good. I mean, I don't like Mickey Loomis trading up either, but that is what Mickey Loomis has just done. But I guess my main point is kind of me and him just have a philosophical disagreement with this idea that, yeah, they're the favorite to win the South, but if the goal is to win a Super Bowl, they aren't even close. Again, you are close if you win the South because you're in the playoffs as a division winner. And this is maybe where the local and national perspective differs a bit, is that I don't think that Bill Barnwell cares about the history of the New Orleans Saints and what they are battling against, which is outside of a 15 or 18-year run in the Peyton Breeze era. It's an awful history in which you've been really bad and you've been irrelevant and you have been losers for the vast majority of that history. So I think there's real value in the New Orleans Saints proving that Peyton and Breeze wasn't just the high watermark and now you're going to return to being losers, but proving that, no, you can extend past this. You can become one of those consistent franchises that, even though the faces at the top seem to change, you still manage to find a way to be competitive and win. Like, I think that's very important for the Saints team to prove, because if you go out there and you fall flat on your face again this year, well, then what's everybody going to say? I mean, then Loomis, it wasn't you, dude. It was all just Peyton and Breeze. And now it really is time to start over. Maybe you even got to look at doing a new GM, but then you're not going to fire Loomis. So it's like, then you start to lose hope really quickly. So I think winning's important. And miss me with, can you win a Super Bowl? Because, hey, guys, how are you going to get better? How do you get better? If you're a team starting over right now, how do you get better than Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs? How do you get better than Joe Burrow and the Bengals? How do you get better than Josh Allen and the Bills? Jalen Hurts and the Eagles? These are projects that will take years, things breaking your way, and losing is no guarantee of success, right? Winning is a better guarantee, in my opinion. So I love Bill Barnwell. I disagree with that take. But you know what? Like, we got other NFC South teams to look at. Okay, the Bucs, they did exactly what Bill Barnwell wants the Saints to do. They cut bait with all their vets. They are clearly in the Caleb Williams, Michael Penix, Drake May sweepstakes. You have the Falcons, who spend a lot of money but are riding with Desmond Ridder, and then Carolina, who, look, they did the thing. They lost, traded up to number one. Like, they are going for it. They are trying to accomplish that goal of immediately rocketing up to a Burrow, Mahomes, Allen sort of level. But it all hinges on Bryce Young being that guy, which, as you know, with draft picks can go either way. Did you all see the video of Kyle Trask and Baker Mayfield throwing routes the other day? Oof, that was a bad boy. That did not look good. I wonder where he has the Bucs here, given that they kind of did. He has the Commanders as number one. Mainly, though, because Dan Snyder sold the team. You want to hear something insane? So in the era of Commander ownership previous to Dan Snyder, 1974 to 1998, they won 58% of their games. They won 16 playoff games, 3 Super Bowls, had 2 MVPs in the 24 years since. So that's 24 years pre-Snyder, 24 years with Snyder, from 58% to 43% winning percentage, from 16 playoff wins to 2 playoff wins, one of which came in 1999, in year 1, in which he took over, and obviously 0 Super Bowls, 0 MVP. So, like,
as a Cowboys fan, I appreciated Dan Snyder. I'm going to miss him because the Cowboys in a whole in the last 20 years under Jerry Jones have been a mess. They've been dysfunctional, but no one talks about that because everyone was highlighting Dan Snyder. Now the spotlight's back on the Cowboys' dysfunction a little bit. I don't appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, he took it's actually kind of a fascinating case of the impact that one man can have on a very big organization. He took one of the NFL's most consistent and best all-time organizations and has made them a laughingstock for a legitimate quarter of a century. That's a Baxter Wheel of Cheese moment. Like, it's almost like I'm not even mad. I'm impressed. It's like when they unveiled the Sean Taylor Wire Project sculpture last year, and it had like Reebok gloves and like just it was so hastily thrown together like a 7th grader that forgot their project was due the next morning. Again, his ownership has reached levels of incompetence that are impressive, that boggle the mind. So congrats to the Commanders for finally breaking free. How about that though? Commies 1, Cowboys 3, Philly 4. NFC East, very high in old Billy B's opinion. All right, let's go to break, and when we get back, let's close out hour number 1 of OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service, where if you want an incredible custom speaker install, it's going to blow people away in the water, that's there for you. You want an HD sonar where you can see the fish under the water before you cast, beat all your friends, that's there for you at front-to-back boat service. So don't put it off. We got the parts in right now. Get them now before they go back on back order. Front-to-back boat service.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Turn my music high, 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 high. Yeah. You don't know what you're doing. Sure I do. I'm from the streets where the hood swallow on me. Bullets will follow on me. There's so much that you could run the slalom. And cops comb this top to bottom. They say that we are prone to violence, but it's home sweet home. With personalities clashing, chrome meets chrome. Prices up and down like it's Wall Street.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luber for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
All right, let's say ah.
Where'd my spotlight go?
Super weird, but we can take care of it.
Get in and get better at Patient Plus.
It's on. I'm out on Thursday, but Taylor Sharp's in the captain seat from 1 to 3. He'll chat with Joe Healy of D1 Baseball and get you ready for LSU's regional. Hunt Palmer Show 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Yeah, so Taylor was listening to the king of college football, Chuck Oliver, yesterday. And he said he was just at Georgia's campus and that they, the football program funded an entire new track stadium to be built so that they could take over the old track stadium for football. Dak Cage says the Saints are the favorites to win the bad NFC South last year, and they finished last. Yeah, I know. It was a failure, which is why we yelled every week about Dennis Allen and Pete Carmichael and Andy Dalton. I mean, you had to watch an entire year in 2022 of Andy Dalton playing quarterback. And he actually played pretty well. He actually played okay. Not as good as some people can massage the numbers to make it look, but he actually played okay. So I guess what I'm getting at, y'all, is that I'm not saying that the Saints will for sure be good this year, right? Like, it could absolutely still go right. They could suck. Derek Carr could suck. Dennis Allen just might not be that guy. Pete Carmichael just might not be that guy. All of this is still very possible. What I'm saying is, while Bill Barnwell disagrees with the philosophical approach that the Saints employed, I do not. I like the moves that they made, and on paper, they should be the best team in the NFC South. But again, it's why you play the game, right? It is kind of crazy when you look at last year. You ended up 7-10, and the Carolina Panthers ended up 7-10. That's not a good feeling. A Panthers team that you felt like you were probably markedly better than. But Derek Carr, look, one thing that I cannot stress enough. And eventually I'll put together some exact numbers on this, but the fourth quarter upgrade from Andy Dalton to Derek Carr isn't even close. I mean, you are talking about multiple orders of magnitude better. So you will have games that last year would have been losses turn into wins, and all it takes is a couple of those, and then you're a division winner. So again, it's not a guarantor of success, but and I'm wrong all the time, but I agree philosophically what the Saints did. Some of you will ask me if this is what I slept in last night. No. Okay, these are clean clothes, 100%. If you go watch Scone and Tea last night, I had on an all-brown outfit. Okay, does this look brown to you? Open your eyes. Wake up. Let's see if there's anything else. Comment-wise, Scott Dice, let the car show begin. Get us hyped. I mean, I'm only going to continue to get more and more hyped about Derek Carr probably as the season goes on. Brian Burgess, T-Bob, what do you think of the AC helmets? Remember, we used to do commercials for the AC helmets back in the day. We used to do Tiger Air Lives. What I think is that, like everything else in modern college football, I'm just a little jealous of these kids, right? I mean, classic old head complaining here and witching about what could have been. But if I was in college now, I'd be making more money than I make as an adult, and I'd have had air-conditioned helmets. Sounds incredible. There is a top 5 bad feeling in the world is being in full pads and stepping out of that indoor after walkthrough and onto that outdoor practice field. When I tell you it feels like stepping into a sauna that is just the planet Earth, like you are immediately just wet everywhere. It's awful. So shout out to these kids, man. You know what they're getting though? They're getting soft, Taylor. Casey, these damn young kids, just soft as hell, dude. No grit left in them anymore. I know you do, which is funny. I actually don't fully agree, but I know many of y'all do feel that way. Trent Ritchie, so you slept in your all brown clothes. No, I sleep in the nude, bro. Y'all know this. If you listen to the show enough, you know this. What about you boys? Nudie boys?
No.
Really?
No. Yeah.
Oh,
which is,
Casey?
I mean, I'm okay if you do, but.
Casey?
Full pajamas.
Oh, okay. See, I'll wear full pajamas around the house, but when it comes to bedtime, we got to get back to our roots. The way in which we came out, we go back in. Hour number 2, Jay Johnson kicking it off next.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Restore me, refuel me, rejuvenate me, okay? You want to feel younger, better, stronger. You're going to recapture that youthful, energetic feeling that you used to have when you were 18 years old and you were walking around like the proud peacock, feeling invincible, puffing your chest out. Rolling out of bed with energy, hitting the ground running, rolling into bed with that same energy even after a long day. You can do that all with Rejuvenate Medical. Chances are, too, you know someone who looks pretty good, right? Has shaped their body in these last few months. Well, maybe they've engaged in a little metabolization optimization. I would say go talk to Rejuvenate Medical about it, see if it's right for you. Also, go get that consultation, get your labs drawn, see if HRT is for you. Because the point is, they're going to customize a plan based on what your body needs to get you to where you want to be. Restore me, refuel me, rejuvenate me, rejuvenemedical.com.
Bayou Ford has $15,000 off plus 0.9% APR for 60 months on all new 22 Ford F-150 SCA trucks and incredible deals on all remaining 2022 inventory. All with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
What's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service, where if you want an incredible custom speaker install, it's going to blow people away in the water, that's there for you. You want an HD sonar where you can see the fish under the water before you cast, beat all your friends, that's there for you at front-to-back boat service. So don't put it off. We got the parts in right now. Get them now before they go back on back order. Front-to-back boat service.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luber for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome into OTB. We good, Taylor? Thumbs up? All right. We got our guy. Okay, no. What's going on? Okay, we're getting it right now. We got Coach Jay Johnson coming up right now. Talk a little LSU baseball, little LSU regional in the air. An incredibly busy time, and yet Coach still making time for us. Here he is, the man. Right here on the edge of the NCAA tournament. You can feel it in the air. The box is going to be electric. All the dads in the neighborhood are all talking about bringing the families, getting out and getting ready to get rowdy. Coach Johnson, what's going on, man? How we feeling on the penultimate day before the postseason begins?
Good morning. Feeling great. I was a PE major, so I don't use that in my vocabulary very much.
It's my trick to making people think that I was smart. But unfortunately, Coach, vocabulary is just that. It's a cheap trick because I was a general studies major. So, I mean, I feel you. I think that I just have a thirst for knowledge that can't be contained to a single subject. Some disagree, whatever. Shout out all my other general studies majors. Coach, I want to talk to you about what the form of this last week and a half has been like, right? So you go to Hoover, get the first win, great. Rest tournament, we all know what happens. It does give you a bit of a little bit of a break before mission accomplished in terms of the regular season. Get the top 8 national seed. What have y'all done since the SEC tournament came to an end? Like, how has the team physically and mentally been preparing for tomorrow?
Yeah, we've had a great week. I think the first thing we did is we actually stayed in Hoover on Friday night so that Ty could get a good night's sleep and not just sit on a bus after he had pitched for 5 hours. So I think that was good. We had some meetings before we left, just kind of clear the deck on the regular season, and really excited about the postseason. I think we're in a good headspace. We've got a couple days off on Saturday and Sunday. And then got right into prep on Monday. I've had 3 good days. We're going to be out there at 10 o'clock today for our pre-tournament practice and put some finishing touches on getting ready for tomorrow.
And Coach, I think you just said after he done pitch for 5 hours. So it seems like that you might be getting a little bit of that Southern culture in you there. Just throughout, he done pitch for 5 hours. So we slept there. How about this? When you're talking about approaching regionally, not strategically yet, but does the mental approach change at all when you're talking about preparing these guys for the stage, right? Because they have put in thousands of hours of work at this point. They've grinded through this regular season. But fair or unfair, this is what ultimately decides how people feel about the team. Do you lean into that? Do you try to treat it like any other game? Like mentally, how do you manage your approach?
No, it's a good question. I think it starts long before this week. And I just have this attitude that every game's a playoff game. You know, when you come to LSU, you're trying to win every game that you play. And so that's how we've approached the regular season. So in that regard, it's not really any different. So I think our team is well set up from the headspace side there. Secondly, I think the whatever you want to call it, the accomplishment, achievement of hosting is valuable for several reasons. Number one, obviously, it gets our fans in the stadium supporting our team, making it a hostile environment. But the other thing that it does is for our team, it helps it seem like it's another game. And I've always believed in that. Like if you can host you have the most familiarity with the setting, and it feels like another game. As far as the what we're trying to accomplish, we've won 43 times this year by doing things very well. And so those same things within the game that have made us successful, that's what's required over the next few days. And so we have worked hard to get them in the right headspace, and certainly excited to see them go out and perform and be right there along with them and go for this thing.
Well, and it's interesting, Coach, because the baseball postseason in the NCAA is unlike anything I can really compare it to, in that it takes on so many different shapes, right? Like, you spend the regular season, okay, we got this one team on the weekend, we're going to play them 3 times, and everything's going to be crafted around that. And then all of a sudden in this first round, you got 3 different opponents, and there's winners, losers, and losers. There's winner brackets, loser brackets, and then you go back to, okay, one opponent. So it's weird, right? You have to be a little malleable. You got to be able to adapt to the situation at hand. How does it change the strategic approach when you have 3 different opponents that you're preparing for?
Yeah, it's always one of my favorite weeks of the entire year. As a college baseball coach, there's a lot of excitement being in the NCAA tournament. It's not a given, and that's a good accomplishment for the team to be in the NCAA tournament. But then as soon as that bracket gets released, it's like, okay, we got to go and got to get moving. And we're lucky to have a really good staff. Jamie Tetko, our director of scouting and analytics, helps me tremendously. Coach Wes Johnson pouring into video on the hitters. I'm doing the same with the pitchers, as well as Coach Wanako with how we're going to defend. And you're doing that 3 times over. And so it's been some late nights. If you've driven by the box, you've seen a lot of cars still in the parking lot. It's a lot of fun, and I just embrace the opportunity to get our team prepared, and I think they're ready. They've been gearing for this for a long time, and we'll be excited to play tomorrow. Yeah,
it's funny, Coach, because I know your reputation is that of the ultimate grinder, right? A work ethic that borders on masochism. So it seems like, so you're saying instead of being intimidated by the work, you just love it. Like, it allows you to just work more this week. How about the bullpen, Coach? It was obviously a point of concern later in the year, but coming out of Hoover, I felt like you had some really strong performances to hang your hat on. Where's the confidence of those guys at the back end?
Well, I think they did a nice job in Hoover. On the game 1, you're looking at Nate Ackenhausen pitched really well, and we really haven't had him in full capacity since March. And I think he's one of the key guys to our team's success. But he threw the ball well, and the best part about that is he'll have had 9 days since he's pitched, so he should be as fresh as you could ask. I thought Riley Cooper had his best outing of the year against Arkansas in the SEC tournament. Gavin Guidry came in, and Javen Coleman, did their part against Texas A&M there at the end of the game. So those are our guys, and it doesn't really matter what we think or how we feel. It's their time to go execute, and I think they'll do that with great confidence, and I'm excited to see them do it.
Yeah, and this is where the legends are going to be written. Coach, you have dove so deeply into this team's just a quick kind of overpass. Let's just start with Tulane, who you're going to be squaring up with tomorrow. What have you seen out of the Green Wave? Obviously, a weird regular season, but you could also frame it as, as hot as anyone coming in based on what they just did in the conference tournament.
Yeah, I mean, we played them in April. I think the first assessment is they're not the same team today that they were in April. And that's a credit to Jay Ullman and Justin Bridgman and their staff to get those guys ready to play. They're playing their best baseball right now. To get through and win 5 out of 6 or whatever that they did in that league tournament's impressive. They got a couple good starting pitchers, a couple capable guys out of the bullpen. I liked their arms, actually, when we played up there on a Tuesday. They tried to slice it up with 1 inning at a time. So I think the record is a byproduct of playing a really tough schedule, them finding, their way. They actually had a lot of guys transfer out with the coaching change last year. And again, credit to those guys for sticking with it and earning a berth in the NCAA tournament. So it'll be a good challenge, and really looking forward to it.
And you look at this Oregon State team, Coach, like everybody else, and like you're no stranger to them dealing with some injuries on the mound. But it's kind of crazy, man. In about a decade now, this is the 4th time that the Beavers and the Tigers could potentially be meeting in the postseason. What does this year's Oregon State team look like?
Yeah, Travis Bizana, their leadoff hitter, is one of the best players in all of college baseball. Left-handed, incredibly fast, has 36 stolen bases, can hit the ball over the fence, plays incredibly hard, kind of one of those energizing type players that we'd all love to have on our team. Garrett Forrester hits right behind him. He is the one guy that I have some history with because he was playing as a freshman in 2021 when I was still at Arizona. Been clutch, had a lot of big hits for them. And then they play the game well. Like, they're going to put pressure on you with the bunting game. They have a couple guys that drag and push bunt as well as anybody in the country. Their pitching staff always throws strikes. They always compete. So very well-rounded team.
And then last one here, Coach, because I know you're very busy, so we're going to get you out of here. Sam Houston State, who a bit interestingly actually has the player with the highest batting average entering the tournament, which never would have guessed that coming in.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at it and it was their splits or something. Like, they had like 3 guys over 400.
Yeah.
And I knew when we played them in February that they were going to be a championship caliber team. That was actually one of the draws to go to that tournament in Round Rock. I felt like it was a team that was going to win 35 to 40 games and help our RPI. But they're hard-nosed, they're athletic, good balance of left and right. They give you different looks, throughout the pitching staff. I mean, they're a championship team is the best way I can describe them, and they're very capable of winning games and have done that for a long time. I mean, ironically, this is the 3rd time they've been in my bracket in the NCAA tournament. So wow. I don't know if somebody's playing a joke on me or what, but yeah, it's a great field. We're excited about it. You're going to be great college baseball, and there's no better stadium and no better fans to create the postseason atmosphere than ours here at LSU.
I mean, it's going to be fantastic. Congratulations, Paul Skeens. We named 2023 National Player of the Year. Coach, I do have to ask this, though. You don't have to answer. I don't think you've announced anything publicly yet on the starting rotation for this weekend.
No, and our deal will be, you turn the lineup in 90 minutes before, and that's when the starting pitcher will be announced throughout the LSU postseason.
Perfect. Love it. Coach Johnson, thank you so much for making time for us. We do not take this for granted. Best of luck this weekend, and I can't wait to watch. The box is going to be electric.
Sounds good. High five all the dads in the neighborhood.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. Let's go, dude. Oh, just going to be an all-time weekend for drinking beers in the backyards with the dads. Thank you, Coach. You have a great weekend, man. All right. When we get back here on OTB, we can talk about some Brian Kelly comments made in Destin yesterday, and then we can get to Jake live from Destin at 8:30. So look forward to it. Keep it locked right here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Go to Riverlands Insurance, 225-206-1517, 206-1517. That is Thomas Email's cell phone number. He will answer it whenever you call. You can call right now, live during the read. If he's on another call, he's going to answer. And you're going to get in touch with Thomas and Megan Email, okay? The father-daughter insurance team that is changing the game by saving you money. Riverlands Insurance is from Louisiana, okay? They're one of the fastest growing insurance companies in the entire South. Insurance Business Place Magazine's best place to work in 2022. They treat their employees the right way. They treat their customers the right way. They understand the idiosyncrasies of the market, right? The unique quirks that of doing business here, and they can find you the best policy. So you call that number, you give them information, you don't lift a finger, and you just save hundreds, maybe even thousands. Like, you don't even probably know what you're paying home insurance. Probably rolled into your mortgage. Let them figure it out for you. Let them save you money. 225-206-1517.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz vans.
The importance of doing this fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance shops, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. And I think we're rocking and rolling.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service, where if you want an incredible custom speaker install, it's going to blow people away in the water, that's there for you. You want an HD sonar where you can see the fish under the water before you cast, beat all your friends, that's there for you at front-to-back boat service. So don't put it off. We got the parts in right now. Get them now before they go back on back order. Front-to-back boat service.
It's Musso. Join us for Thursday's AFR presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. The Saints wrap up their second week of OTAs. We'll have the latest. It's Thursday's AFR 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Welcome back. OTB. A lot of coffee talk going on in the chat right now. Are you a coffee guy, Taylor? I haven't noticed. I don't think I've ever seen you drink coffee.
No, I'm not.
You have so much natural energy.
Yeah.
And you wake up early. Even before you're doing this, you're waking up even earlier for traffic.
Yeah. I used to get up at 4:30. Now I get up at 5. But yeah, I've just always been more of a morning person. I'm good. Yeah.
So you just hit the ground running?
Yeah. I like to start my day with a purpose, T-Bob.
What? What does that mean? Instead of you just pour a cup of purpose in the morning? What did you purpose this morning? What did you drink this morning?
Okay, this morning I did have an energy drink,
Oh,
but
okay,
that's rare though. It's just like yesterday when I got home, I was really tired. That's typically like a once a week maybe thing.
Yeah, just a little pick me up. What kind of energy drink?
A NOS.
Oh, okay. You know, I feel like I always associate NOS with gaming.
But no, usually no energy drink. It's just my cup of water.
Wow.
Yeah.
What about you, Casey? Coffee boy?
I am not.
No? What do you?
No.
So you too?
Not
You
a
just
fan of
come in
coffee.
here just raw dogging it naked, just like with your normal human body, no drug influence whatsoever?
Yeah, it's a struggle. I'm like the least morning person on the planet. So.
Oh man, yeah, I'm a little basic Starbucks teen. You know, I just go and get a big black coffee every single day. Just venti pike. I used to really treat myself. I get those Grande Nitro cold brews, but bro, they're expensive now. I mean, you throw $1 tip on that thing, you're talking about a $7 cup of bean juice. Entirely too much. If you go with just a basic large black, you're looking at like, I don't know, like $4, which again, I get it, guys. It's not financially responsible. I could save X amount of money, but like at the same time, like, don't you work to treat yourself, dude? And if you're going to do a morning show job, like, isn't it okay to just take an hour of the wages or whatever it may be and put it into a cup of bean juice? Like, I need it. I need it. It gives me what I need to get through the day. And then I'll generally have a second cup around snaps time to get the juice up from there. Survive says, don't talk to me until I have my coffee. I agree, dude. If I don't, I just sit there and I cannot kickstart my brain. But I guess I'm an addict at this point, right? Very clearly. A caffeine addict, like much of our country. Like, you get these same feelings drive to the Starbucks sign that you do if you were to like show up at your favorite drug dealer's house, and that you also get mad if they don't have what you're looking for. I want to mention a couple things. First off, congratulations to Paul Skeens, 2023 National Player of the Year. Which organization there was this? Oh, Collegiate Baseball Newspaper. Because of course he is. He's 10-2. Did he get a loss last week at Hoover, I think? Right? I think he got credit with that loss on the catcher interference. That's so annoying. Whatever.
Because
when
he
the
went
catcher
out the
interference,
game,
his runners were still on base.
Was on base.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's so annoying. Anyway, 10-2, a 1.89 ERA. He's got 167 Ks, only 17 walks. Imagine having 170 Ks nearly and being at a 10-1 ratio. That's what? And here's what's interesting. Ben McDonald, as we know, the single season record holder for Ks in a year. He had 202 strikeouts in 1989. The thing about Ben McDonald is, though, he threw a lot of innings, right? Skip was going to throw you a lot of pitches. Paul Skeens, in this modern era, actually has an outside chance of breaking this record. And if he does, it would mean that everything is going to according to plan and LSU's accomplishing their end goals. Because you think about it, he'll start this week. Like, let's say he averages 10 Ks, which he basically does per start. In fact, I got to look at the notice. I got to look at his total number of starts. He may average 10 Ks to start this year. But he could start this week if you make it through here. He could start next week at the Super Regional and make it through there. He'll start at least one game in the CWS to make it to the final. He would start a second game. 4 starts, 40 Ks, 167, 207. So if LSU Tiger baseball fans' dreams come true, you could be seeing a new strikeout champion in the Tiger record books. Again, probably not going to happen, but, maybe will. And shout out to Paul Skeens, who gave $10 for every strikeout he recorded this season to Folds of Honor, who, of course, provides scholarships to the spouses and children of military and first responders who have paid the ultimate price or whether in death or being disabled. Folds of Honor helps to provide for them and their families. So Skeens continue to give back while dishing it out. Brian Kelly had some interesting comments yesterday where he was basically, because here's the odd part about LSU this year. And it almost sounds like you're talking out of both sides of your mouth when you're talking about LSU football. LSU football right now is, in my opinion, should be the objective favorite to win the West. Okay. I like their starting lineup better than Alabama's right now. You got some of the top returning production in the entire country. You and Vanderbilt are the only teams in the SEC to return a head coach, starting quarterback, and both coordinators. And you got a quarterback that should be top 10 in the country. You got an offensive line that returns 2 true freshman tackles who should be awesome this next year. You basically return the entire offensive line. You got a defensive line that's going to feature Mekhi Wingo and Mason Smith. Like there is a ton to be excited about. So it's a weird thing when you see the quote then from yesterday, and Paul Feinbaum's asking Brian Kelly, have you caught up with Alabama? You beat them in the first year. You should be favored this year. Or are you closing that gap? And Brian Kelly says, quote, we still have some work to do, quite frankly. Georgia and Alabama have been the standards here, but we're up to the challenge. And I agree with that. Like, frontline starters, LSU should be a better team this year. Top to bottom roster, Alabama is superior. And they have been. Look at the recruiting rankings. Look at the transfer portal. Like, even Brian Kelly said it yesterday, right? We played it in the Jake interview with Off Campus on Sirius XM 84. Brian Kelly wants to get to the point where he doesn't have to take 10 defensive transfers, right? He wants to get to the point that Alabama, Georgia, and others at where you're really just topping it off, right? I always prefer what hobbits refer to as filling in the corners, right? You have a really big meal, but then you kind of got maybe some post-dinner pastries or something just to fill in those corners. Nice little post-dinner coffee just to go ahead and finish it off. Well, that's what ideally Brian Kelly would like to fill in the corners of the roster rather than baking an entire meal through the portal like he had to do. Now, I like the transfers. I love Omar Spates, right? We've talked about Andre Sam, and we'll see how the secondary ends up working out. But no, yeah, you are not on the level of an Alabama or a Georgia, but you are moving that direction. And most importantly, as we just spent a lot of the beginning of the show talking about having the right person in place to be the catalyst for investment and buy-in and alignment and get everybody moving in the correct direction, you now have a guy that unquestionably has that vision, right? And we are in the process of experiencing what on paper makes all the sense in the world, which is if the last 3 coaches won national championships at LSU, that the winningest coach in all of college football should eventually be able to get a national championship at LSU. Now, it comes at a time when it's not just Alabama. I mean, Georgia. You have to deal with Georgia. I mean, in fact, you actually got your ass kicked by both of the best teams in the East last year, as Will Roosevelt points out in that Tiger Wire article. So you got a ways to go. And and you know me, I think Georgia is potentially even more intimidating in terms of establishing dynasty than that of Alabama, because I think they have way better natural resources than Alabama. There's more talent in the state, both in a general number and per capita perspective, and they don't have to deal with Auburn, right? So Kirby Smart in Georgia already has distinct advantages there. And so I think that's going to be an even harder hill to climb. But if anyone is capable, I do like Brian Kelly here at LSU. So yeah, I think both things can be true. LSU should be the favorite to win the West this year. We'll see what form the teams are on in November, but here in June, on June 1st, it looks like LSU should be favored in that game, or maybe a slight dog or a pick'em since it is going to be in T-Town. But as a program, they are not yet to where Alabama is or has been. And I like Brian Kelly acknowledging that straight on, because it shows that he's not shying away from any of this. He's talking about last year. He says, quote, "We found our way to the finish line. We had a couple of bumps along the way, but it was a good first year." I would agree. I really keep going back to when he called LSU basically the bad news bears there in game number 1, which they really were, and they found that form at the beginning, but they still were ultimately a flawed team. When you look at the things like the Texas A&M loss, almost losing Arkansas without KJ Jefferson, but those flaws are so easily identifiable that I think they become very correctable. And I really like what I saw out of Jaden Daniels this spring, and I think he is ready to take a marked step forward, as is this offense from a dynamism standpoint, right? I think they're ready to threaten, to be dynamic, to intimidate with explosive plays. But we'll see. They got to go prove it. And they have one of the best September matchups, which, by the way, I don't think I'm going to get to it much today, but if you're a college football fan, we'll probably break it down on Snaps later. You should all listen to me and Aaron Murray. But if you are a college football fan, ESPN has a great kind of mega college football preview for you to enjoy here on June 1st, where they're looking at some of the main storylines, looking at some of the best games coming up in September. And if you're like me, it just, it starts to whet the appetite a bit. All right, let's go ahead and go to break. I do want to remind you, though, NBA Finals starting today, boys. Okay? A little Miami, a little Denver. How about a little DraftKings Sportsbook app? Okay? The fight for the title's on. If you want to get involved, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. If you're a new customer, use the promo code Baton Rouge. It's going to be all one word, promo code Baton Rouge. Then you place a $5 bet. When you do that, $5 bet during the NBA Finals, when you do that, you get $200 in bonus bets instantly. And so, if you've been putting it off, now's the time to join, and you can build that nut on DraftKings Dime, okay? Bet $5, $200 in bonus bets instantly. Now, what if you're like T-Bob? Well, I listened a long time ago. I've been signed up. Well, all customers get a shot at a bigger payout where they got the stepped-up same-game parlays. Every additional leg to the parlay that you add, you'll get paid a 10% bonus. So if you add 10 legs, do the math, up to a 100% bonus on the payout. A 10 leg would already be a ridiculous payout. Now double it. Okay, just go for it, dude. Do a small bet. Something you're cool losing. Sandwich, cup of coffee. Bet a cup of coffee with the stepped up same game parlay and see what happens. DraftKings Sportsbook app, promo code Baton Rouge. Must be 21 or older, physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Opt-in and 10-plus leg required for 100% boost. Eligibility, wagering, deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball. Terms licensee partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Go 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-426-2537. Yeah, you got to opt in to the stepped-up same-game parlay. So look for it. Press the opt-in button. All right, when we get back, let's talk to Jacob Hester, live from Destin, here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $20,000 off new 22 Ram 1500 SCA trucks and incredible deals on all remaining 2022 inventory, all with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The world's leaders in obesity research, obesity medicine, and obesity science are right here.
We're doing something that no one's ever done, or trying to answer a question that no one's ever asked before.
Pennington is a real jewel when it comes to research.
We are finding the solutions to the world's worst chronic disease, which is obesity. Louisiana needs Pennington Biomedical.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luber for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Denver Nuggets host the Miami Heat in Game 1 of the NBA Finals Thursday night at 7:30 with Game 2 Sunday night at 7 p.m. Your home for the 2023 NBA Finals is 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Greg says, T-Bob, you're the millennials. The articles are talking about with Starbucks every day and avocado toast. Yeah, sue me, Greg. I like both, okay? I like both. It doesn't change the fact that the boomer generation could buy a house for like $1,000. Okay, I don't know what to tell you. The avocado in the Starbucks is not why people can't afford housing. Though, I get it. It is a little expensive. But have you ever had avocado toast? Let's go to the phone lines. We got our guy, Jake Hester, Jake Husker, member of the Corn Hub, doing some work down there at the SEC meetings in Destin. Jake, what's been going on, man? How's it been thus far?
French Truck has great coffee and great avocado toast.
They do. They really do.
I think both are delicious. Yep. Both are well worth the money.
Yeah, they have those like pickled onions on them. You know, those little pink
do.
Pickled onions. Yeah. Oh, I love those things.
Yeah.
How's the breakfast over at the hotel?
Everything's been great. It's been a really good couple of days. Definitely ready to get back to off the bench tomorrow morning. But it's been a lot of fun
nice.
here.
You're back tomorrow? I didn't even realize.
Oh, that's a little surprise.
Yeah. I just figured it was all week. Hell yeah, dude. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow again.
Yeah, I'll be back in tomorrow. It's been good. We've had a chance. I think, T-Bob, we've had 32 interviews between football coaches, basketball coaches, ADs, and it's been a lot of information. We've had both Texas and Oklahoma's athletic directors, and it's still. Like I told you through text, but when you drive up, you see 16 flags now here for SEC spring meetings. Like Texas and Oklahoma have a flag now. They've got name tags here that are burnt orange and crimson and cream, and so like it's officially official almost. You know what I mean? Like it's right there at the finish line. But they're sitting in these meetings. They're involved in these meetings now. Again, I told you that like they don't have any voting power just yet, but it's something that. It's not only like the scheduling portion of it. Obviously, there's a lot of other things that are going on here. That was probably like maybe the biggest, I don't want to say surprise, but I thought that scheduling was going to be like such a main focal point of these meetings. But there's a lot of other things that these coaches, kind of have as maybe the top thing on their agenda. You look at their calendar, like the coach's calendar. Every coach that we sat down with football-wise, they had like a freshman class that was coming to campus either like the day before, that day, or the next day, and their first time they're on campus and they're not there to really welcome them. Or they had like a welcome, and they had like maybe a welcome party or like a welcome meeting, and then they had to bolt and get out of there. They had official visits as well. Like that's something we don't probably talk about enough. Like you can have official visits like in May and June, and there's just no real off time in recruiting. So I forget which coach it was, but they were like, yeah, we got 17 officials in the next couple of days, and they were going to be in Destin. And so like they were trying to figure out how their assistant coaches could set all those things up. And look, I mean,
is that not just like bad planning on their part though? Like the NCAA doesn't set their official. Like why the hell did you plan it for SEC Media Week or SEC meetings?
I think because they have so many, and there's only certain weekends that they can do it, and they just had transfer portal official visits as well. And like that's one thing that was enlightening. These coaches are like, you got about 48 to 72 hours once you kind of identify somebody in the portal to kind of get them on campus, kind of vet them as best you can, maybe run them through a physical. And you can be wherever. You can be on vacation. It's like, hey, I need you back on campus for this official visit. So the schedule right now probably needs to be looked at. And again, like you're not feeling sorry for these coaches that are making millions upon millions of dollars, but I just don't think it's good for the student athlete either, because they're not getting that attention, T, that you and I were able to get when we were coming through as freshmen.
Jake, I know that a lot of talk goes on in these things, and it's not talk that you can always source or even sometimes not even say, right? Because sometimes people are trusting or testing you to see, like, can I trust you with this information? Doesn't make it out. But you mentioned a little bit maybe there on the scheduling front. Have there been any other kind of whispers behind the scenes that have been dominating the conversations? Like, has there been any honest discussion about how these coaches actually feel about the 8 or 9 game schedule or anything else like that?
Yeah, I mean, you'll talk to some of these coaches and they want to play, more SEC games, and I think they've been pretty out in front of it. And you have some that want to, only play 8, and they want to play the least amount of SEC games that they can. But I don't, I think they've kind of come out and they've said who that was. I think the biggest surprise as far as scheduling to me was, if I'm saying on Monday when I'm getting there, I'm like, okay, well, we're going to have probably 9 SEC games. And then, it's like, oh, man, we're not going to have 9 at all, because you just felt like this overwhelming, hey, it's going to be 8, it's going to be 8. And so, that was a surprise to me, because I just felt like we were going to have 9 for so long. But now it feels like we're going to have those 8 conference games, and it's going to be, the 7 rotating and the 1 permanent opponent. And so they got to figure out the permanent opponent. But I wouldn't necessarily say that that's going to be for the next 20 years. That might be temporary.
Yeah, couldn't it only be 1 year even potentially?
I think it might could, T, because that was some of the conversation that you would hear kind of in the background is, hey, we got to figure this thing out. We're not really ready to figure it out, or we can't all agree right now, but can we at least agree on, hey, let's do this for a year. Let's see how it works. We're welcoming in 2 new teams, and I know 8 doesn't seem like it's going to be enough, but let's just do it for a year. That was one of the things that I probably heard the most was, hey, we're probably going to do this, but we're not saying it's going to be for a long time. And I even heard that, yes, it could be just 1 year. And I mean, that can be kind of frustrating to a lot of people, because you're like, man, you've known for a couple of years that Texas and Oklahoma were going to come into this conference. Just because they're here for the first time doesn't mean it's the first time that you've had conversations. I mean, Chris Del Conte, the Texas AD, I was talking with him yesterday, and he's like, no, we've been in meetings for a while. We're going to continue to be in meetings. The only thing that we won't be involved in is SEC Media Days this year. Every other official meeting or official anything, Texas and Oklahoma will be involved. He even mentioned that Texas and Oklahoma are actually, it was Joe Castiglione, the Oklahoma athletic director, that said, no, us and Texas meet. We have meetings together. We have our internal meetings, then we have meetings with Texas, and then we have meetings with the SEC. So they've had a lot of different meetings, a lot of different times where they could have gotten together, got maybe a better schedule together. So I'm not really sure. I think it's probably just more of the disagreement between the coaches, because, I mean, Commissioner Sankey said, he's like, look, we had 2 high-power coaches in our league that scheduling, it wasn't a shouting match, but they had a strong disagreement in those meetings.
Do we know who it was? I mean, I'm guessing Saban, maybe?
No, I have no idea, but he just said, 2 coaches. And so, and like you said, he said it was very civil, but, they had a disagreement on scheduling. So I think that's more of it. Is they just don't have that agreement in place. And it feels like it's probably, 8-4. You might have 6 against, and then you might have a couple of undecideds right now. So I think that more than anything is probably the biggest issue.
Yeah, and I know that Texas and Oklahoma are both fans of 9, but again, they don't have voting rights this year.
And that's maybe why you push it, down the road again, and maybe push it only a year, which, it seems less than ideal. Okay, this is going to be what we do. It's just for now, we'll change it up.
Well, and you continue the ESPN conversations, right? Because that's the big hang up in all of this. If you really wanted to convince Missouri and these other, or actually Mizzou, I'm sorry, I apologize. Mizzou's on board for 9 games.
Yeah.
If you really wanted to convince Kentucky and these other schools, the way to do it is say, okay, we'll give you $5 million more per year.
Well, yeah, no, there's no question about it. And I know a lot of people have talked about this, and that's probably the biggest thing. If you're not going to get more money for these games, those schools are never going to get on board.
Yeah.
And, Alabama not being on board, and you're having conversations with people from Alabama, and they're like, okay, well, if we're not going to get more money to play more games, we also they have home and homes coming up with.
They got good home and homes coming up. They're kind of in the same boat as all the other teams that are against it that have a good Power 5 yearly opponent, right?
Well, yeah,
like
well,
South Carolina,
it's
like
that.
Yeah, go ahead.
They got Ohio State, they've got Florida State, they've got Wisconsin coming up, and so but it's not even. I don't think about those opponents either. They would also have to buy out maybe some of those opponents, and so. And this isn't just Alabama. This is just some of the conversations that you've had. But so, T, you're not getting more money to play that 9th game, and also you have to spend money to buy out maybe one of those teams. So you're not getting more money. You're spending millions to buy out that team, and that's another hang-up as well. So, yeah, a lot of it is competition, but some of it is that if you're not going to get more money, who's going to pay these buyouts if we have to add a 9th conference game?
That's true. Jake, anything else to add on the way out here?
Dorings had his shirt on way more than I thought he would.
Wow.
He was coming straight from the Bahamas. He actually celebrated his 50th birthday.
What?
He did a week in Miami. He did a week in the Bahamas, and then he came straight to SEC spring meetings. Hey, my boy's been locked in. He's been in all 32 interviews. Part-time Peter Burns has been in about 15 of them. That tells you what PB's been doing. But Doring's been ready to go, although, the shirt's been on because I don't know that he's in the right headspace to have another beach weekend.
It would be very funny. It would feel odd to interview Eli Drinkwitz without a shirt on.
That's actually like the one coach that I can
That's
see
true.
TV.
I think he wore like a wife beater one time or something, didn't he? Eli did, Drink did? Okay, you're right.
Tank Top Tuesdays.
Maybe like a Mark Stoops. He feels a little more uptight. I don't think Poops would be cool if you just did it shirtless.
See, I'll give you a rundown of the coaches. We got to spend a lot of extra time with the coaches. So when I get back tomorrow, I'll maybe give you a rundown there because there's some good stuff.
All right, there you go. Jake Hester, live in Destiny, back on OTB tomorrow. All right, Jake, take it easy, man. You have a great day.
All right, see you tomorrow, brother.
When we get back, close out hour number 2 of OTB. Keep it locked.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
I want to talk to you about All-Star Toyota again. Imagine that. I talk to you about All-Star Toyota twice a day because All-Star Toyota are great supporters of the show, the main sponsors. Why you see them behind me every single day on the, what do you call these?
Panels?
The panels. Wow.
Yeah, the panels.
Okay. I thought there was like more jargony name. Yeah, the panels. But the point is, whatever your car needs are, if you're single, you're married, you got kids, you don't have kids, I don't care. Whatever your car needs are, you want new, you want certified used vehicle, you're just looking to rent, you have a lot of money to spend, you don't have a lot of money to spend. The selection is such at All-Star Toyota and the deals are such, they're going to find you an answer, okay, that matches your financial needs, your utilitarian needs, and your style needs, man. Go get that murdered out many of your dreams. Put some truck nuts on the Tacoma, okay? I'm not here to crap on your dreams. All-Star Toyota is here to make your dreams come true. Go to allstartoyotabatonrouge.com, All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge. Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service, where if you want an incredible custom speaker install, it's going to blow people away in the water, that's there for you. You want an HD sonar where you can see the fish under the water before you cast, beat all your friends, that's there for you at front-to-back boat service. So don't put it off. We got the parts in right now. Get them now before they go back on back order. Front-to-back boat service.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile.
Sandgriff, join us for the Thursday edition of Live at Lunch from Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Matt Humans will be with us. Dwayne Colucci from Las Vegas and Ronnie Rance on the LSU Baton Rouge Regional. Live at Lunch, 11 to 1 weekdays on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Whoa, let me stand up. What's up, y'all? What's happening? Welcome back to OTB. Hope you're all having a great day. Do remind you, AccuTemp of Baton Rouge, AccuTempBR.com. If you want a whole home generator, right now's the time to do it. You act now, you get $1,000 off that generator, and you can also get free whole home surge protection, okay? So don't lose any of your computers or televisions or electronics in the case of a storm. To be honest, does that still happen? Do we know? Does that still happen? I feel like this was a very big deal in the 90s and the early 2000s, like getting your computer fried because you didn't have it plugged into a power surge. But I don't know. Maybe it still happens. Maybe it doesn't. I'm not entirely sure. Okay, finally got chat to reload here. Oh, man. A lot of pie talk. A lot of key lime pie talk. Have we ever done a pie tier list? I'm not entirely sure. If I was to just workshop a top 3 for me personally off the bat, it's very basic. But I find it really hard not to love a great apple pie with a dollop of vanilla ice cream. That might be my S tier, but you know me, I tend to like the fundamental flavors and then build on top of that. I've always been a big custard pie guy. And then, actually, I would probably go pecan pie 2, custard pie 3. That would be my top 3. Apple, pecan, custard. What about you boys? Y'all got any takes? If you don't, it's okay. It's not a big deal.
Ooh, apple's definitely 1 for me.
Okay.
I'm gonna go cherry pie. I like a cherry pie.
Basic boys stand up. Let's go.
And then I don't know, like a chocolate chip pie. Chocolate chip pies are good.
What's a chocolate chip pie?
Something like that.
I like an Oreo pie. You ever had an Oreo
pie? Is good. Yeah.
Frozen ice cream, little graham cracker.
I'm not big
crust.
on lemon. Everybody loves a lemon meringue pie. I'm not big on any lemon dessert.
Okay.
I just never had, but I like lemonade, lemon heads, all that, but any lemon dessert, not for me.
Okay. What about you, Casey? Top pie?
Top pie, probably apple.
Okay.
Probably apple, key lime, little key lime flavor.
There's a few little basic boys here.
Yeah.
Apple pie gang.
I like a peanut butter pie. I think peanut butter pie is a little underrated.
Daniel Basham, what's a peanut butter pie?
It's literally a pie that tastes like peanut butter.
It sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it sounds great.
Yeah, they're very good.
A cold glass of milk, give it to me. You know what I've been doing lately that I used to do when I was a little kid, and I just forgot about it for 2 decades? Just dipping apple slices in your peanut butter. I mean, you want to talk about a tasty-ass treat. Just take an apple and just go to town on that thing, dude. It's perfect. It's right after work. It fills you up, too, if you need a little energy boost. Lars Corval says, I thought custards are basically eggs. I don't know what the hell custard's made out of. I just know that I've always liked a custard pie. And Danny Bachelor, let's be real. Cheesecake isn't a cake. It's a custard pie. That would make sense. Yeah, I guess. That checks out in my mind. I don't know exactly how, but that makes sense to me. Look, coming up next hour of OTB, we got Munchies with Chef Michael Johnson at 9:15. So go ahead and get your Munchies questions in there. We'll do a quick big deal or no big deal when we get back as well. Who is this? Somebody put in Quad Bob stuff here? Okay, we'll get to it all on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to Patient Plus Urgent Care. PatientPlusUC.com is the website, and you will see the difference when you work with Patient Plus. Look, they got locations littered throughout the city now, literal double digits. So if you just put in Patient Plus, there's a place near you. And if you've never been, I would say the first thing that's going to jump out to you are the facilities. Because we've all grown up going to like urgent cares and docking boxes, right? And I think it's established a bit of a level of expectation through the years. The first time I went into Patient Plus, I was blown away. The building, the privacy of the rooms, the spacious nature of them, the technology employed from things like the digital profile system where it's just a touch of a button on your phone to sign in, like what you need to actually get tested and figure out what's going on. It's just a cut above the competition, okay? So treat yourself, literally, when you're treating yourself. We're going to Patient Plus Urgent Care, PatientPlusUC.com, Patient Plus Urgent Care.
Bayou Ford has $15,000 off, plus 0.9% APR for 60 months on all new 22 Ford F-150 SCA trucks, and incredible deals on all remaining 2022 inventory, all with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Turn my music high, 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 high. Yeah. You don't know what you're doing. Sure I do. I'm from the streets where the hood swallow on me. Bullets will follow on me. There's so much that you could run the slalom. The cops comb this top to bottom. They say that we are prone to violence, but it's home sweet home. With personalities clashing, chrome meets chrome. Prices up and down like this Wall Street.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service, where if you want an incredible custom speaker install, it's going to blow people away in the water, that's there for you. You want an HD sonar where you can see the fish under the water before you cast, beat all your friends, that's there for you at front-to-back boat service. So don't put it off. We got the parts in right now. Get them now before they go back on back order. Front-to-back boat service.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like Vans.
Let me go!
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, they said I gotta come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back. TB. Hour number 3. Hope you're having an excellent day today. So crazy to think about that we're into June, man. We're into June. Regional starts tomorrow. Summer's officially here. We got some big, fun plans coming to the show starting on Monday next week. We will restart tier lists next Friday, maybe tomorrow, now that Jake's going to be back. I'm not 100% sure. We'll hammer that out later today, but certainly next week we're going to have a lot of new kind of summer themes for you, so get ready for that. I think it's going to be great. Right now, let's go ahead and dive in to some big deal or no big deal.
No big deal.
Big deal? No big deal.
Big deal.
No big deal.
What is this? I like this. I don't mind this, and it works. But this is not. What is this imaging? Did you make this, Casey? Did you choose this song?
I cannot. There is no big deal. No big deal.
It feels like
I found a random thing in Mario's folder.
Oh, okay, hell yeah, man. Right on. It's like a Crazy Frog sort of situation. Big deal or no big deal? The Nuggets, massive favorites over the Miami Heat for this NBA Finals. Hold on. I want some bed music. I can't have this. I cannot listen. Whoop, 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 whoop. I can't listen to that anymore. Give me any bed music. You've been playing some smooth music all day. I don't care what it is. Give me anything. Taylor, big deal or no big deal? Nuggets, massive favorites in these finals.
No big deal, because I kind of think they should be. I don't think Denver's going to sweep this series. However, I don't see this series going 7 games. If my man Mario was here, he would jump across the table and slap me, but I think the Heat's run ends here. I think Denver's too good. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
I mean, the game 1 spread, Heat +9. The Heat money line is +320. Is that not odd in a postseason where they've been underdogs the entire time and have won every single time? I know, I feel you. Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, absolutely, the Nuggets should smash. They should be the better team. But so should have the Bucks. So should have the Celtics. If nothing else, I don't think it's a big deal, because I don't think they think it's a big deal. I'm going to be betting Miami just for the value throughout this. And maybe I'll end up losing, right? But it's just wild that you have a team that's already taken out the top 2 seeds as an 8 seed and still 9-point dogs entering game 1 with over +300 on a Heat money line. And you have the classic Heat come in, still locked in. They've been playing, whereas the Nuggets, how long have the Nuggets been resting? Which you always think could potentially be an advantage, but a lot of times we see that when you get out of the grind, out of the fight, you sometimes struggle to refine that form immediately. I mean, the Nuggets have chilled for 10 days almost?
Yeah, something like that.
10 or 11 days? That's unheard of. They probably feel like they entered the off season. So, no big deal, because the Heat don't care. Okay? Vamos los Heat. I think that's what they said. Taylor, do you have a big deal or no big deal?
I do, and it involves your favorite college football coach.
Yeah.
The University of Texas has hired Wisconsin ex-head football coach Paul Chryst as special assistant to head coach Steve Sarkisian. Big deal or no big deal?
Huge deal, okay? Paul Chryst, finally going to be the piece that pushes Texas across the finish line. Like, this is what's been missing. It's not the fact that Steve Sarkisian has never won 10 games as a head coach. It's not the fact that he has proven time and time again to be unable to get the most out of the incredibly talented teams that he's had. The fact is, he's just been missing Paul Chryst. So a massive deal. When I saw this news, the first thing that went through my head is Texas, without a doubt, is going to win the Big 12 and should be considered a top 5 team in the entire country. A playoff lock, if you will. Now that they have, you know what? The power of Chryst compels you, okay? And it's going to compel Texas straight to the top.
I don't think it's a big deal. Who cares?
Yeah, no, it's not a big deal. And as far as Texas goes, if I'm being completely serious, this has to be the last year which we give Sarkisian the benefit of the doubt. I'm already way off the bandwagon, and it's a weird thing because I see the arguments, I see the talent, I see once again what they should be. And my brain could easily fall into the same trap of being like, look at Texas, dude. They're pretty freaking good. They should, but I'm not doing it again. I'm not doing it again. Well, what is the definition of insanity? Continuing to do the same thing and expecting different results? Okay, well, I'm going to make Texas prove to me that they can win, and I'll gladly eat that crow. Like if Sark wins 10 games and wins the Big 12 finally, I will gladly eat that crow. But I feel comfortable in being a dissenting voice in this preseason. Big deal or no big deal? Shannon Sharpe reportedly leaving Fox. So get this video ready to roll, boys. But Shannon Sharpe going to be bought out at the end of June after the NBA Finals and going to leave FS1. Big deal or no big deal?
I think it's no big deal. I mean, maybe it is for him as far as Fox. I mean, is he that good at what he does?
Whoa. Hard stop. Shannon Sharpe's a take, he's a take great. Like in this business where we are just supposed to be entertaining, and you're always putting up TikToks, right? About do numbers. Our breast milk one doing numbers right now. We love to see it. But how viral does Sharpe go? Like, I've never seen Undisputed, and yet I feel like I've watched episodes of Undisputed.
For that show and Skip Bayless, it is a big deal. For me, it's not a big deal, but for him, yeah, it's a big deal.
But Club Shay Shay's cool, too. You ever seen any of the podcasts or any of the clips from Club Shay Shay? I haven't. I guess I just love Shannon. And he's given us some of the best horny meme responses of all time. He's right up there with Will Clapp in that regard. So,
well, okay, so
I've
have
never
they announced
watched
where
it, but I do think this is a big deal.
Have they announced where he's going?
No, not yet.
I think it all depends on where he's going.
He's joining the Pat McAfee show. I guess it's just a big deal because you don't even realize they've been doing that for 7 years now.
Yeah.
Also, maybe a potentially big deal because it shows that Shannon was a little more upset with Skip. I mean, we knew he was at the time with the Hamlin tweet and then him interrupting Shannon as Shannon was explaining why he was upset and skipped out on the next day's show. Like that, you can tell when it's a work and when it's a shoot, and that was real. He was not happy with Skip, so maybe he got his off ramp. Here's a little preview, though, of what Undisputed could look like in the month of July and beyond.
Aaron Rodgers is historically, transcendentally, specially great. No, you know why? Because Aaron Rodgers is hot and Aaron Rodgers is cold. Are you kidding me? He is not consistently historically great, transcendentally great. He's above anybody who's playing this game on a human level right now. He's also the most overhyped quarterback in the history of pro football. That is the most laughable statement you have ever made in the history of this show. Okay? So it's Aaron bleeping Rodgers. He's Errant Rodgers, E-R-R-A-N-T Rodgers. Here's what you won't have an answer for. The play of the game and the play of the year and the play of this century. That was special. There was nothing special about this play. No. Yes.
Undisputed.
Oh, my God. Whoever made that edit, it's just so perfect. And y'all may think that I'm coming down on Skip for this. I'm not. That is a man who I aspire to be. That's how you take, my friends. That's how you take. He has reached the pinnacle, and he's had so many takes that he can literally argue against himself using the exact same vocabulary. Like on one side of that clip, he is using the exact same words to champion Aaron Rodgers, and then he's using the exact same words to berate Aaron Rodgers. Also, did he really call that play against the Cowboys a play of the century? That's a great take, because that's wild. Like that fires me up here 7 years later.
Yeah,
I'm like, that's crazy.
I remember watching that game. I was upset by it. It was a great throw on the run. It was a game-winning drive, but it was also a 15-yard crossing route that was caught and went out of bounds. I mean, is that the play of the century?
Play of the century, dude. You heard it here first. Shout out Skip, man. Legend of the game. You think ESPN goes all in, tries to get Skip and Stephen A back together? There's no way. They just bought McAfee.
No, because I think Stephen A has a lot of pull, and that's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's true. Stephen A probably has surpassed Skip even. The Stephen A breast milk clip yesterday was absolutely fantastic. We left out a key piece of the conversation where Stephen A pointed out that you do not have to be a baby to love breasts. In fact, there are many adults who may love them more than babies, but breast milk is another matter. Stephen A said he never tried any. I'm surprised. Does Stephen A have kids, though? Do we know? Does Stephen A have children? Huh. I don't know. Just comes out of the womb debating. He just comes out of the womb like, LeBron's better, Dad.
The first question when you Google, does Stephen A. Smith, it says, does Stephen A. Smith have kids?
Oh, wow.
And he also has 2 daughters.
Okay. I was going to say, I kind of got like a Bachelor sort of vibe from him, like a bit of a ladies' man sort of vibe, but I don't know.
Well, he's not currently married.
Yeah.
From a previous relationship, he has 2 daughters.
Of course not. No. You can't keep that man contained. You got to spread these takes. All right, when we get back, little munchies with Chef Michael Johnson. Keep it locked right here in OTB.
OTB, OT.
Go to centralplumbing.org, 925-8552, centralplumbing.org. 925-8552. When you overthink it, don't overthink it, okay? Central Plumbing is your one-stop plumbing shop for all your plumbing needs. And it's not just residential, it's commercial as well. So if you're a business owner listening to me right now, and you have an office building or big project, and you need your needs met, Central Plumbing has paperwork, personnel, and insurance to do so. The Payne family has been at this thing for a while now, y'all. And I'm a repeat loyal customer before he did ads to them, after he did ads to him, because I love it. They got the 24/7 emergency service. They got the flat rate pricing, so I know what I'm paying up front. They got the great warranty coverage for once the work is done. And everybody's licensed, bonded, and insured. And they got 24/7 emergency service. So if it's like a weekend or a holiday and it's a true emergency, they got your back. And with 50 years of experience, they've seen it all. They can fix it all. Don't think twice. Plumbing problems, upgrade, bathroom remodels, whatever it is, centralplumbing.org, 925-8552.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service, where if you want an incredible custom speaker install, it's going to blow people away in the water, that's there for you. You want an HD sonar where you can see the fish under the water before you cast, beat all your friends, that's there for you at front-to-back boat service. So don't put it off. We got the parts in right now. Get them now before they go back on back order. Front-to-back boat service.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents.
It's on. I'm out on Thursday, but Taylor Sharp's in the captain seat from 1 to 3. He'll chat with Joe Healy of D1 Baseball and get you ready for LSU's regional on Palmer Show 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Daniel Basham, T-Bob, I'm not believing in the Texas hype. T-Bob, 4.38 seconds later, let's go Nebraska. Look, man, I can't help it that I'm smart, okay? Like, look at what Matt Rule has done. Look at the history of Nebraska and recognize you have a sleeping giant up there in Lincoln. Right now, let's go to the phone lines. We got our guy, Chef Michael Johnson. We love him so much. Every single week he joins us to answer all of your culinary queries. Chef, what's going on, man? How you doing today?
I'm good, fellas. How are y'all?
Doing great. Feeling good. Moving right along. Juice is great this morning. It's June, which is crazy. Hashtag Munchies. We touched on this conversation earlier. Favorite pie, Chef?
Gosh, I think it's kind of a mood thing, but I like chocolate custard pie, like a chocolate mousse pie, but also in like a Kentucky bourbon pie.
What's that?
It's like it's almost like pecan pie a little bit, but it's got shaved chocolate in it, and you pour like a warm shot of bourbon over it before you serve it, and you can serve it with ice cream like a la mode. Some people actually light that bourbon on fire and let the alcohol burn off, and it warms the pie up, and it kind of melts the chocolate a little bit. But it's got pecans and chocolate, and it's like caramelly and stuff. It's fantastic.
Hashtag Munchies. Favorite rub and method for smoking pork ribs, and which cut of the ribs?
I'm a St. Louis style guy. I always make sure I peel the sinew off the back. That's important, and for pork, I always go sweet and spicy. It may be a little smoky in there, but I don't necessarily feel like you have to put like a mesquite rub on a rib that you're going to smoke with mesquite. So typically, I just go kind of sweet and spicy. I think pork likes that. Also, I always use a fruit tree to at least initiate the smoke. But sometimes I'll throw some pecan or hickory or something in there to add some depth of flavor. I will mix my woods when I smoke. The denser woods maintain a heartier, healthier smoke for a longer amount of time, and the lighter fruit woods will burn up, like they smoke quicker and faster and lighter. So sometimes I will mix my woods.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Well, I'm just saying, not everybody's into it, but I do like those complex flavors like that.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder how many people can even appreciate that. Like, do you think if I ate that rib, would I be able to discern the difference?
You probably taste the difference in the smoke, perhaps. I think it's going to depend on how much you season it, the process.
Yeah.
I think that there's going to be some subtle variations, but some people come in and slather barbecue sauce all over the top of it and are never going to taste, the true flavor of the meat at all. So,
Yeah, true.
yeah.
I watched a great video the other day on the barbecue joint that won Best Barbecue in Texas, according to Texas Monthly or whatever.
Yeah.
And the thing that jumped out to me, it's an interesting deal. A bunch of young people, but they're only open Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The rest of the week is spent prepping.
Yeah.
And one of the main time consumptions is just trimming the brisket. I had no idea that it took so much effort, creativity, work. How much effort do you put into like when you set out to trim a brisket? What are your goals? How are you trying to shape it?
So a lot of guys do this differently, and there's a comfortable amount of fat that you actually leave on there because during the smoke process, you want that fat melting down through the brisket. It helps maintain how fatty it is. I know people that don't trim the brisket at all and wait until it's cooked and then trim the fat while it's warm. I know people that trim it down to where it's super lean. But I think that there's a comfortable middle in there and finding not only that, there's a point on a brisket and then there's a thick end, and some guys will pull that thick end apart. I don't necessarily do it myself. Like when I was at the Seahawks, we would smoke 2,500 pounds of brisket at a time.
What?
Yeah.
Was it just 1,000 degrees in the smoker room? Where was this?
No, man, it's 187 degrees all day long. It took some time and effort, and similarly to that, we had a team of probably 8 or 10 people that were trimming some of the fat and then rubbing it, and a lot of the time that's put in there that you don't even have hands on it, you're resting it. We put the rub on it and rest it overnight so that it draws some of the moisture out of the outside, draws some of the seasoning in, and that's what helps form that bark on the outside. It kind of starts the drying out process on the outside. So, the smoke has something, and it makes the meat tacky, so the smoke has something to hold on to.
Damn, dude. A true art form, smoking these meats. Daniel Basham wants to know, #Munchies, do you have any kitchen superstitions?
They say, and I don't necessarily follow all of them, but they say you don't sweep another man's feet, that it's bad luck, that's not good. And
respectful.
You got to throw salt over your shoulder if somebody sweeps your feet because it's bad luck. And I don't know, there's a few others, but that's the one that comes to mind is sweeping another person's feet, like sweeping dirt onto their feet or sweeping their feet with the broom is considered to be super bad luck.
Also, you're in my area at that point, okay? I'm working. It's just like when you're cooking at home and somebody's walking through the kitchen grabbing stuff. It's okay, what's going on here? Why are you here right now? Just leave.
Well, not only that, you're sweeping trash at my feet, and brooms in a kitchen are not like the broom at your house, they're disgusting. You know what I mean? They've got junk and funk all in them from the floor. So I don't want that on my shoes, and I don't want you throwing, muck and stuff at my shoes. And
here's a random question: does anybody wear? Is it a closed-toe workplace?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
there's a specific need for. Really, and I learned this the hard way. Really, you want to wear a black leather shoe that doesn't have. It's not liquid permeable. A lot of people will wear comfortable tennis shoe like shoes with soft top cloth, and still have the non-slip grip on them, which are comfortable. But the reason you wear a leather shoe is in case somebody spills hot liquids on the floor. And I've actually had, when I worked at a steakhouse here in town a long time ago, had a guy that was carrying a stock pot of boiled potatoes, and he dropped it. It hit the rubber mat and flew at me. And when it did, it slopped hot boiling water all down, from my waist down to my shoe, all over my feet.
I don't mean to laugh.
And
that's awful.
No, it was bad. I shucked my pants off on the middle of that hotline in the middle of service. I was standing there in my underwear, within a half of a second. It was so hot.
I'm just picturing NBA tearaway pants, the warm-up pants, immediately rip them off.
I was running around the restaurant with two aprons on, one facing forward and one facing backwards for a little while, so that I could, getting my stuff together. And
okay, it probably felt a little freeing, Chef, right? A bit like wearing a
cool,
quilt.
right, yeah.
It's or kilt. It's like when I wear my wizard's robe, right? Because it's basically just a blanket on top of me with nothing underneath.
It felt very free.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, like, you don't want to be working in a kitchen without pants on, but then the kitchen manager doesn't want you to go home because then he's a man down. So you got to decide what you're going to do there.
Hashtag Munchies, drums or flats, and favorite way to do wings?
Drums, I
wow.
I can run the drum through one side of my mouth, pull it out the other side, nice and clean. So the wings have a little bit more, you got to split the flap and.
I know a technique where you don't have to split the bones, and you can get them all up.
Yeah.
But it still does take a little effort. You got to kind of push down like vertically to break whatever those ligaments
sometimes
are.
you miss a little bit of that meat in between too.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
But I don't leave him.
Yeah.
I will gnaw those bones, Chef. I just want to be clear about that.
I'm cartilage and all. I don't care.
Hashtag Munchies. Who are the linemen, wide receivers, running backs, and quarterbacks of the kitchen? You don't have to do every position, but like who's the quarterback? Who's maybe like the unheralded like offensive line that's still essential? Like how would you do that metaphor?
Yeah, well, the offensive line is definitely the utility people. They're the unsung heroes. They're the ones that are in the dirt. Like they don't make as much money as everybody else. They're dealing with it day to day. You got to have respect for those guys, man. I would say, I mean, I like to think that I'm the quarterback, but I also think that I'm the coach. So I think
True.
if I'm the coach, and it's funny because a lot of my chefs and a lot of the athletes call me coach, and I think just in like response that we work in athletics so much that people it just comes off the tip of the tongue easily.
There's also like a weird Baton Rouge thing that I never knew before I moved here, where like adult men just love calling each other coach.
Yeah, right.
I didn't even see it in New Orleans, and I could be wrong here. Maybe it's like all Louisiana, but only here have I ever seen like you would say dude or man. Say coach. I don't know, coach. Hashtag Munchies. Favorite way to make coleslaw?
I like a vinaigrette, and it depends on what time of the year. Like in the summertime when it's hot, I'll do like a berry vinaigrette, something that's light, has some vinegar in it. It has a little bit of tartness to it and kind of opens up. It's more like a wintertime thing for me, where I'll use, and I don't even like saying it on the radio, mayonnaise. It's like mayonnaise is not something I have a whole lot of in my life, and it has reasons. Like there's times where I'll dip my French fries in mayonnaise just because it's
it's good,
kind of weird.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, but I mean, what do you do then? Just aiolis? You just repackage your mayonnaise in a fancier wrapping when you go there.
Right.
I feel like that's what most restaurants do when they want to sell you on
they
something.
take mayonnaise and put a little lemon juice and Parmesan cheese in it, and you got an aioli.
You got an aioli, dude. There you go. Munchies, is there such a thing as boneless wings?
No, that's just like chicken. Yeah, no.
It's a nugget.
No.
This is a conversation that we went in depth on yesterday, Chef. And it comes from Stephen A. Smith, actually. Actually, it comes from Josh Hart. Stephen A. talked about it. Have you ever tasted breast milk?
I think I'm going to plead fifth on this, man.
Well, look, I have, man. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I found it to be very sweet. It was like cereal milk.
It was interesting.
Yeah.
Yep.
The warmness got me a little bit, though. It makes me a little odd. Maybe put that boob in the freezer first, Hashtag Munchies. What is the worst state for food?
Worst state?
Yeah. Do you have a food
like
culture? Do you think that is lacking? Yes. It could be a region, state, country.
Yeah, I mean, yes. I think, you go north of I-10 and things get a little bit more bland, and that's nothing against our northern brothers and sisters in northern Louisiana, but, you get too far north of Louisiana and things start getting bland, and so I don't know. I spent a lot of time in Missouri, like great Midwestern beef, great, like meat and potatoes place, but I think that there's a general blandness in the food in the Midwest.
Yeah.
Like there's great pigs and pork and stuff, so they have wonderful things, but as far as bad food, gosh, that's a tough one. For me, bad food is just bland. Like it's not been seasoned well, and so I think the Midwest kind of leaves something to be desired with the seasoning of food. You know, I think that, and I'm going to probably hack some people off with this in the Northeast, but Old Bay is not is not an acceptable seasoning replacement for Tony Chachere's. You know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah, I can hear my wife's Maryland-based family yelling at you from the crab feast, as they're all now terribly upset with you that you don't like their Old Bay.
I mean, I used to use Old Bay until I found other seasonings.
Yeah,
and there's better. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I mean, even I love Tony's, but I have it. I think I like this thing. Champon's better. It's got a little more garlic in there, which I'm a big fan of.
Even like crab boil or crawfish boil or shrimp boil or whatever, you know, like whatever your flavor is, whether it's Louisiana or Zatarain's or whatever, you know, up there they use Old Bay to boil crabs and crawfish or crabs and crayfish.
Yeah.
You know, like lobsters or whatever. And it's just not, you know, like I like salt in it, I like spice in it. It's well balanced as far as the seasoning is concerned, but it leaves something to be desired with the salt and everything else. So it's not, you know, like you need more than just Old Bay.
A lot of support for you in the chat right now, Chef. Okay, we'll get you out of here in a minute. Oh man, my neighbor was taken aback when I told him that you had to massage kale to eat it. And he thinks it's absurd that you should put in the effort or eat anything that requires massaging. Where do you stand on the massaging of kale? And does it illegitimize a food if you have to sit there and give it a back rub?
Oh, man. I mean, I think that's completely dependent on how deep down the hole you want to, you know, like I know people that will slap mint before they put it into a mixed drink.
Just give it a little spanking?
Yeah, right, because it opens up the pores, right? So, and I think
if you talk down to the mint, do the pores get even more open?
It makes
I'm
me
like,
cry.
you dirty son of a mint, and I just go,
right.
oh, yeah, come here.
Yeah. So I think the whole philosophy behind this is massaging the kale or slapping the mint is the cell structure there. So if you tear or cut a piece of lettuce or kale or whatever, you're getting different release out of there. So when you tear a piece of lettuce, tear a piece of kale, it's tearing between the lines of the cell structure, and you're not getting cell structure loss. And when you cut it with a knife, it's cutting down the middle of the cell structure, and it's releasing chlorophyll. And that chlorophyll, you know, it can distaste some food. You know, like it'll turn your food green. It will, you know, like if you're chopping parsley, for instance, with a knife, you need to run that under the water and rinse the chlorophyll out, because it will make your food turn green, and it will bitter your food as well. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, the scientific nuggets that we get during this segment will literally never cease to amaze me. We've been doing this for 3 years, and you still find new ways to blow my mind every single week. Chef Michael Johnson, thank you so much, man.
Appreciate you guys.
The man, the myth, the legend, Chef Michael Johnson, head executive chef for LSU Athletics, a man who has seen it all in his time on the culinary scene. We thank Chef for joining us every single Thursday. He's the man. But God, I'll be damned I'm not hungry now, boys. I mean, it's every time with Chef. Every time. I'm so hungry now. All right, when we get back, did Chef ever separate? When we get back, let's do some more sports talk stuff. OTB.
OTB. OT.
Get Gordon and get it done. What does l'avocat mean to you? Chances are you're like, what are you talking about, T-Bob? Well, chances are you've driven by the billboard and you've seen this billboard with a giant avocado and Gordon McKernan's face as the pit of the avocado. And you've been like, okay, I'm interested, but what are we looking at here? And it says l'avocat. Well, guess what? L'avocat is the French word for avocado, but also the French word for lawyer. Okay? So, if you need somebody who's going to satiate your hunger for justice, bite in to the l'avocat that is Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. 225-888-8888, where they fight for you. And never forget, Gordon is giving back to the community in multiple ways, whether it's raising money for positive causes or just supporting your best athletes by making them members of the G Team. Gordon is here for you. So get Gordon and get it done.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
The importance of doing this fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance jobs, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. And I think we're rocking and rolling.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood.
Hey, it's Musso. Join us for Thursday's AFR presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. The Saints wrap up their second week of OTAs. We'll have the latest. It's Thursday's AFR 3 to 6, 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with Hester and T-Bob on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
Casey's, you got a very chill vibe today, Casey. I'm enjoying it. It's not quite like lo-fi, but it's got a little bit of that feeling. Maybe a little bit of that vibe, just in terms of to make me feel very just kind of relaxed. I enjoy it. You ever listen to the Lo-Fi Girl channel that's been around for years and years on YouTube? Have you seen Synthwave Boy that they just revealed?
I haven't seen Synthwave Boy, but I've seen the Lo-Fi Girl.
Yeah, there's a whole Lo-Fi Girl universe where there was like a light in the background of the Lo-Fi Girl picture that was lit up, and then slowly they like zoomed in, and they finally went into the room, and it's Synthwave Boy.
I've seen it.
You've seen it.
No, I'm just kidding. I haven't seen it.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
That's a weird thing to lie about, Taylor.
Yeah, I apologize.
Like that wasn't even like there wasn't any great payoff. That was just a like it's one of those like one of my buddies in college, Josh Rosick, used to do lies but call them jokes. where there was no actual punchline. He would just lie about something. You'd be like, oh, that's cool, man. And he'd be like, nah, I'm just joking, dude. I'm like, wait, what? But there wasn't like, you weren't tying it into anything. You just, that was just a sentence that was untrue. So, I guess you should try out Synthwave Boy sometime. If you like that. I like that when I'm working sometimes. I've been in a very jazz mood lately. Listening to a lot of Japanese jazz. This guy, what was his name? I'll find online. What did I stumble upon the other day too that I thought Hiroshi Suzuki Cat is the jazz album I've been listening to. That's very, very, very good. And then it's summer, so a lot of reggae, a lot of steel pulse in any of the Marleys. Man, there was another one in there, but I can't remember what it is now. All right, it's the NBA Finals though, getting underway tonight. Here we are, again, DraftKings, like we said, promo code Baton Rouge. But in honor of the NBA Finals, ESPN has put together a video that can only be described as a drug-induced fever dream. Here is SportsCenter's video previewing the NBA Finals. Shout out Bilbo Baggins sending this my way.
The domination of Nikola Jokic. This team is poised for its first championship in their history.
Here we go again.
I am shocked.
That damn Jimmy Butler scares the hell out of me.
Pick them up. Pick them up. Pick them up.
Check those feet out, huh? New York, the real New York. I'm outside. Come to my block, you see me. Oh my God. Oh my God.
You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm doing good. How you doing?
Fantastic. The domination.
Okay, that's actually fantastic. There's so many elements that I like. I love Nikola Jokic's NBA Jam level dunk over LeBron in the LeBron celebration with the crown. Then Jason Tatum and Jimmy Butler, he does the timeout thing. Then they're leaning forehead to forehead, and Butler straight up does like a DBZ Super Saiyan, and Jason Tatum dissolves. Avengers style, Infinity War. So I was in game or Infinity War when everybody disappeared.
Was that like claymation?
It wasn't. No, it's definitely not claymation, and
like
it wasn't
Sims
even quite.
or something.
But it wasn't even quite fully. The shape language was the same as claymation. Like shape-wise, it looked like that, right? Now, there's a lot of digital stuff where they will fake claymation and make it look as if you're doing stop motion. That is very good, and I do enjoy that style. But no, their kind of shapes was, but yeah, no, that was very clearly a 3D animation. They did have Jimmy Butler going Super Saiyan twice, which I really appreciate. Avo Marzwani said, this is horrible. I kind of really like it, dude. I kind of really like it. I don't know. That's for me, though. So that's the NBA Finals. Taylor, you pay way more attention to the NBA as a whole than I do. How are we feeling about these finals? You think Nuggets in 5?
I may go 6. I think Butler's got enough. Tyler Hero should be back this series.
What?
Yeah, so he actually got cleared for basketball activity ahead of Game 6, but they held him out a little bit. I don't see any reason why you can't give him a couple minutes off the bench. I mean, is he going to be an X factor? Probably not, but he's going to give you another shooter coming off the bench. But it's funny. I'm actually looking at the thing right now. It popped up on my Instagram feed right before we came back in. Miami has not won in Denver since November 30th of 2016. Their starting lineup was Goran Dragic, Rodney McGruder, Luke Babbitt, Josh McRoberts, and Hassan Whiteside.
Look, if that team then can win, then this team can win.
Well, the Nuggets had Jameer Nelson, Emmanuel Mudiay, Danilo Gallinari.
Nelson.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Danilo Gallinari,
Hell yeah.
Kenneth Fareed, and Yusuf Nurkic.
Jameer Nelson, St. Joe's finest. Who could ever forget the St. Joseph's team with him and Delonte West? Did they go to the Final Four?
Yeah, they did.
I
believe they did.
Maybe
yeah.
they were on the edge of it. He was really good in Orlando on those Dwight Howard teams as well. Oh, God, why my stomachs are hurting so bad all of a sudden. Ouch. All right, let's do this. Okay, so you think Nuggets win tonight?
I think Nuggets take game 1. I think they probably win it in 6.
Okay, we'll see. I don't have much of an opinion. I'm going to bet the Heat simply because I don't know. I actually don't care who wins. I don't care from a narrative standpoint who wins, but small bet in the Heat could pay triple for the money line. So I'll probably just do that tonight for fun on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Coming up next, let's do a little extended Ask the Bench. Brought to you by Cole Curse Light, Visit Hotels from Blue Moon, Light Sky, Citrus Sweet. Keep it locked right here on OTB.
OTB, OT. In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Hello, Samantha, dear, I hope you're feeling fine. And it won't be long until I'm with you all the time. But until then, I spend my money up right down on my last dime. Come home, live Baton Rouge. I'm ready, what you put me on through. Gotta send my love down the
I've been doing business with Luber for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service, where if you want an incredible custom speaker install, it's going to blow people away in the water, that's there for you. You want an HD sonar where you can see the fish under the water before you cast, beat all your friends, that's there for you at front-to-back boat service. So don't put it off. We got the parts in right now. Get them now before they go back on back order. Front-to-back boat service.
Turn my music high, 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 yeah. You don't know what you're doing. Sure I do. I'm from the streets with a hood to swallow on me. Bullets to follow on me. There's so much that you could run the slalom. And cops comb this top to bottom. They say that we are prone to violence, but it's home sweet home. With personalities clashing, chrome meets chrome. Prices up and down like this Wall Street.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luber for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that
Denver Nuggets host the Miami Heat in Game 1 of the NBA Finals Thursday night at 7:30, with Game 2 Sunday night at 7 p.m. Your home for the 2023 NBA Finals is 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
Welcome back to OTB. Close the show, a little Ask the Bench. Brought to you by Cold Cruise Light, Visitor Hotel and Blue Moon. Light Sky, Citrus, Wheat. Oh, man. I didn't get the video ready to play that I wanted to. Forgot what the video was, actually. Let's just dive into Ask the Bench. Ask the Bench. Are you going to go see Across the Spider-Verse today? I was going to, but then... my wife signed us up for a cooking course at the Red Six Spice Company, which if you're looking for a date night, boys, very fun. Very fun. It's you, another person, and a bunch of random strangers. And basically you all take different stations. You all cook a part of a giant meal, and then you all sit down at the end and eat it together. And it's awesome. Learned a lot of cool techniques, and there's always a bunch of great stuff to get over there. So I will not be going today. I do want to go, though, and I do want to specifically see it in theaters because I've heard that it is a movie that really benefits off of a really quality screen, which means you need to go check out that PLF theater at Celebrity Theaters. Again, I'm not paid to say this. I wish I was. I wish Celebrity would get their, I wish they'd show a little love, but I'm a slave to good recommendations. And there's not a more high-quality theater in Baton Rouge than those two PLF theaters that they have. So I would say go see it in there. Ask the Bench, will the murder rate go down in Baton Rouge with Mario out of town? Yeah, likely. I don't know if it could show up on like a year scale, but if you're tracking like week to week, certainly. Lars said, Marvel's kind of meh at this point. Again, on Spider-Verse, Spider-Man is a Marvel character. Spider-Verse is not a part of the MCU, though. So if you're down on the MCU, just know that it's not. Is that a spider crawling my leg? Ask the Bench. If the NFL is really concerned for player safety, why do they allow games to be played on artificial grass on Thursday night? Because they're not really concerned about player safety. I mean, they are, but they are to a point, right? Everybody's concerned about player safety until it goes up against can we make more money, right? And what's funny is player safety really ends up becoming more of a bargaining chip for we don't want to do this thing. Like it's like the 8 versus 9 game people, right? In the SEC schedule debate, they use player safety as a chip. Say, well, you can't play a 9th SEC game, blah blah. When look at the extra play, but they don't really care about that. They just don't want to play 9 games for other reasons. But player safety is a nice excuse. Ask the Bench. The Hamilton Canes here in New Mexico a month ago. Oh, shout out listening from Mexico, Jordan. And still lines over an hour drive-through. Overrated or underrated? Not a shot at Canes. I'm not waiting an hour for any drive-through. Just not doing it. Doesn't matter who it is. Does not matter. That barbecue joint I talked about earlier, I'd show up and wait there for an hour. I'd go early before they open. I'd do that. I ain't waiting an hour for a drive-through. I'm sorry. Not doing it. Must be slim pickings in New Mexico. As Vince, why does T-Bob hate Demon Slayer? I don't hate Demon Slayer, guys. I'll get to Demon Slayer one day, okay? One day I will get to Demon Slayer, don't worry. Ask the Bench, is a 2 o'clock first pitch too early to start drinking whiskey? No. If baseball's on, whiskey's allowed to be consumed. That's just a rule. Also, margaritas are as well. So go to Rock Paper Taco this Friday during the game and go get $5 margs during the game. Okay, you're probably going to want an Uber, though. But a great place to chill, hang out, eat delicious food, and drink good. Murder Draft says Dolby is the best. Well, that's the thing about the PLF theaters is they have the true Dolby Atmos sound system that nobody else has. 108 speakers in each theater bowl. Combined with an IMAX-sized screen with 4K barcode laser projection. Choo-wee! As far as where I'm at in Demon Slayer, still got to watch season 2. I got to finish season 2. And I got to watch that movie. Or no, I think I got to finish season 1, watch the movie, then watch season 2. So I'm way behind, guys. I'm way behind. I'm finishing Succession now. People tell me I need to push through to the final episode of Ted Lasso, which the new season's not doing anything for me, but I will. Barry's out now, which I've heard mixed things about. But Succession is a legitimate. I mean, right now, I'm halfway through season 3. Succession is trending towards being a top 5 TV show that I've ever watched in my entire life. The writing is so tight that it's intimidating in terms of how crisp and good it is. What was the name of the barbecue joint in Texas? It was Goldie's. And there's a really good... it's not a spider, it's this wire on my thigh this entire time. It's Goldie's. And I just watched some random YouTube video on it that was quite good. Also watched a really cool video about a old white man who moved to Japan and opened up a burger joint even though he didn't speak Japanese and had never been a restaurant owner. Asked the bench, you plan on getting into Diablo 4? No. Sorry, y'all. I've never liked the Diablo. And I know they're very good games, Diablo 2 especially. I tried playing Diablo 3, did nothing for me. I just don't love the ARPG. And plus, I'm addicted to WoW Classic right now, so that's where any gaming time that I have, that's what I'm putting in. Just got my mount on my Druid, been tanking. That's a lot of fun. I'm going to take a break from that, maybe level up a little AoE mage. You know how it goes, dude. I got to go get Cookie Stir and one from Deadmine soon. I don't got time to play D4. Ask the bench, have you watched a new Puss in Boots movie? I was surprised it's good. It's a fantastic movie. Full recommend on the new Puss in Boots. Also, you can see the influence of Across the Spider-Verse in it. Or the first Spider-Verse movie, whichever one that was. Because the animation takes a lot of cues and does some of the things that Spider-Verse was playing with as well. We love you. We love you so much. Jake will be back tomorrow. So will Casey. So will Taylor. So will I. For a brand new Friday episode of Off the Bench. Have a great day, y'all.
OTB, OTE.